That's how it should be.
Welcome everyone to episode 35
Is
of Rime with the Frost Maiden. I'm Samson Paul. We got the party here with me.
wait.
How's everyone doing?
Good. I guess.
Wonderful.
I think we all learned that tarantulas are very generous lovers.
They have to be. It's life and death. Apparently.
I mean, wait. Is that not with every species?
Yeah, that's really how it should be.
Should be.
Always.
I didn't kill someone.
Thank you,
Well-
Discovery Channel.
To be clear, I was able to start the audio after that conversation. I just, but here we are.
Whoops.
No big deal. That was very well timed. It put me out
Little
of
behind the
my
scenes
zone for a
for
bit.
everybody.
Little BTS. What happens while we are running our open? We talk about animals and how they love their lovers.
Oh my god.
What do you think is the sexiest bug out there?
It's gotta
Where's
be.
Sean Parker when you need him?
Yeah, no
Like,
kidding.
honestly.
I was gonna say praying mantis.
Yeah, praying mantis.
Oh, definitely.
100%.
Yeah, they're just, so spiritual. Whew.
I was more thinking something that could take off my head is very appealing some days. So
Oh yeah, who can't relate,
Alden says
this
ants
guy.
are sexy.
Ants. Alton votes ants. All right. I can get
Put your
behind that.
sexy bug in the chat.
I don't know how wide their selection of insects are on their emotes. I have not perused it that deep, but I haven't seen many. Okay, there's a spider. All right. Yeah,
I
spider.
mean, if they're committed, they'll make it work.
Spider stands in there. Let's see. Anyway, we're here to play D&D and also talk about insects on the side. First and foremost, Chris, would you like to plug the tavern?
yeah, sure. The Tavern is a Facebook community. Facebook's pretty garbage, but we make it a little bit better. We specialize in tabletop RPGs, memes, and all sorts of just togetherness. We've brought back Meme of the Month starting at this month. Winner wins a $50 gift card to either Wormwood Gaming, Hero Forge, or Heartbeat Dice. You get to choose. And we're going to go with that $50 from here on out. As just a very generous prize to our members. So think up an original meme. You're able to think up 5 per month. And we just, if you've won within 30 days, you can't enter again. But since we've had a bit of a hiatus, everyone is in the running.
Very good. Yeah, get your creative juices flowing and go submit some memes. Join the tavern in the link in the chat or in the link in the description on YouTube. Let's see. Who wants to do the recap this week? Who wants to do it? Usually I say the latest person goes, but Eclipse was not here last week.
As I recall, we made Andy do it when he wasn't here.
Okay, Eclipse, you're up.
Ooh, okay, so I'm gonna make up a story and you're gonna listen and you're gonna like it. So, everyone did some cool stuff. Everyone did some bad stuff, especially Leg, because he deserves it. -5 charisma check.
If you knew my modifier, you would know that's impossible. Okay.
Ouch.
Is that the story? Is that the end?
Yeah, and then, I don't know, maybe, like, shit is fancy.
So,
Yeah.
bottom line is, it was all about me.
Oh,
guys.
giggles.
It was last week was all about me.
all about Lek. That checks out. Last week, what really happened was the party decided to take a quick rest before venturing further and releasing the prisoners or confronting Avarice. They were still undecided, but were able to choose a course during their rest. eventually made their way back towards the prisoners and released them, believing their story of being held hostage by these cultists that had occupied the care. Went back into Avarice's personal quarters and turned it over really well, tried to look for anything and everything that they could find. Found a teleportation circle that was in use and slightly hidden by a magical rug that would slowly crawl back over the teleportation table, or the teleportation circle. The journal was found that Vega picked up and has been perusing through. And after that, party made their way back upstairs and out. Actually, no, they found an escape route downstairs. That's what it was. Found the escape route downstairs and circled back around to hear the sounds of fighting, where their bugbear mercenaries that they have hired were fighting the cultists inside, and a very one-sided battle ensued, where the cultists were slain, and most of the bugbears and the party were generally unscathed. But the occupying force had been vanquished, and it was time to talk to the leader, and they went upstairs and talked to Kadroth and delivered the piece of their minds, and Kadroth gave them his side of the story, and very solemnly looked and wished all those frozen bodies well into the afterlife, and made his way out, being able to now release Speaker Cranach Seaver. He was released and has his rightful throne again atop this care, and gave a very riveting speech to the Commonwealth that had come up and heard the fighting and going to jump into the fray. To which point, I believe, we pick up after the speeches, after the frozen bodies of these cultists are being rearranged for the speaker's amusement. We'll pick back up with the party. We'll say you guys are outside, still not wanting to get in the way of anything, and letting the villagers sort of take this moment to reclaim their sovereignty. Any initial thoughts at the moment from the party, or ideas on what they would like to do next?
What time of day is it currently?
I believe it is towards the end of the sunlight, so a little afternoon-ish.
Okay, then my suggestion would be to see if they will still let us use our rooms for the night before we head out, and then we can discuss if we want to head out after Avarice or towards the Mind Flayers.
So Zizix is already in his lab looking at stuff.
Oh, yes, you guys were inside. You were investigating things. That's
Yes.
right. So you guys do have occupancy of your rooms. You're inside biding time for the night. Dinner had been served already. Carcass got a little sneak preview of it earlier, and you guys are in your respective rooms planning out the rest of your next couple days. Does anyone have anything that they would like to discuss with the people they are sharing a room with?
I forget what the room situation even is. Is it me and Eclipse?
Last I remember, I was out. Andy was outside, like, thinking. So I don't know what her room situation was.
I assume that you're usually in a room with Vega and Eclipse. I thought Lysander was with Zizix. Or maybe you buddied up with Carcass. I think you buddy up with Carcass most of the time.
I usually do, yeah.
Yeah, and Carcass was currently asleep in the dining room.
Correct. Thank you.
I think we can assume that Lek and Silas took the master suite from, wherever that was.
Absolutely. The finest room for us.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Sipping on that decent wine that you still have, are babysitting, essentially.
After a while, it doesn't taste nearly as good as it did when we first had it. You realize that?
Yes, I did note that myself. I suppose once you're deprived of something for long enough, you eventually come to really, really like it when you finally get it again. But like all things, it does fade away.
You know what I could go for? A fondue.
A fondue. I suspect these backward fucks don't have anything like that around here.
Absolutely not. It's not difficult to boil cheese and skewer meat and stick it in until it cooks. But I can't imagine that they have anything remotely close to that
They
here.
seem to be more interested in polishing their town speaker's butthole.
Well, I mean, a clean rusty wagon wheel is important in terms of peacekeeping, I suppose.
Oh, of course. Or pleasing the person who they rely on to do all of their decision making, although he seems to be a fairly interesting sort of person if I should measure him myself.
Perhaps if we inform Zizix of a wonderful chocolate starfish, we might be able to get a few more free nights here.
You want to stay here? I want to leave as soon as possible. If I'm being honest, I think we've dicked around enough with these people.
I don't want to stay, but I feel like we're going to be here for the next 3 days deciding whether or not we're going to chase after Avarice or find the mind flayers. Either one is probably going to kill us, to be perfectly honest.
You know what the worst part is? You are fucking 100% right. Just gonna dither around about an obvious decision for the next few days. Oh boy.
Where would you prefer to go, Lek?
I don't want to chase after fucking Avarice. I just say we go do what we said we would do to the wonderful people over at Bryn Shander and go to the mind players, which you are absolutely right, probably will kill us. Last time we were even over there, I almost died, so... Ay.
Then I will vote for the mind flayers, and maybe I could get Adriana to our side in this matter.
Well, if anyone can do it, it would be you, Silas.
I appreciate your confidence in my abilities. I'm going to find her. Do you wish to join me, or do you want to turn in for the night?
I don't much feel like turning in, if truth be told. I'll go ahead and join you, why not?
Wonderful. And with that, Silas will make his way to Adriana's room.
Okay. And you'll find Adriana and Vega and Eclipse inside of the room, since Carcass is asleep downstairs. And since you guys are added, took up an extra room, so some consolidation was in order. You open the door and you find the three of them inside.
Adriana, do you have a moment?
Yeah. Sure.
Did you miss me, Eclipse?
No. Go to bed.
Andy will look at Eclipse and Vega and say, "I'll be back in a few." And she'll wander out after Silas.
Like you can join us, absolutely. I'm not telling her anything that you don't already know.
Righto, then along I shall come.
Silas will bring them back to their room and sit down on the bed and have Luck check the door real quick. Just make sure it's closed.
Okay.
I
Easy
do
enough.
that.
Well, last we spoke, I told you I wasn't necessarily willing to part with this information, but I've had a bit of a change of heart, seeing the way that you've been absolutely devastated. I feel like you could use a friend.
Andy looks, she kind of furrows her brow and she says, I wouldn't say devastated, but okay, go ahead.
It's okay to be vulnerable. That's what I'm about to do. Her name was Rosalind. Is Rosalind.
The woman?
Yes, the only person I've ever loved outside of myself.
Well, what happened?
Cormier is not necessarily the most accepting of places. We fell in love when we were both young, and, well, one of us identified very differently back then. When they came out as their true self, and I brought to my father my intent to wed, I believe she was banished, because I never saw her again.
That's awful.
Yes, it's quite upsetting. I believe she might be somewhere in these lands, but I'm not quite certain. I can't guarantee anything such as that. Like already knows, I've informed him that this is kind of a piece to play against me, should he need me to take care of anything.
Well, I certainly don't need a piece to play against you. That's not something I would do, but do you have a picture, a drawing, or anything of her? Maybe, I mean, we could keep an eye out and maybe we'll find her.
I suppose I might be able to put something together if I truly concentrate on my memory of her.
You should, Silas. You shouldn't resign yourself to a, as you put it, a loveless convenience marriage.
I know what things I'm worthy of, Adriana, and I assure you love is not one of them.
Clearly, that's not the case. Because you had Rosalind, and might still have her.
Perhaps I might, but so much has changed in that time that I am uncertain of how things would be now. Things are very different. I was a lot younger and, well, I wasn't the person I am now.
Well, of course you're not. I mean, it's kind of understandable how one might become bitter.
That is a kind word to use, Adriana.
Well, I'm just saying that after the way your parents treated you and this devastating piece of news, it's only natural that you would come out and think of yourself and push people away because people haven't been kind. But maybe if we find Rosalind, you'll have a new lease on life.
That is unlikely, but I appreciate your optimism. And it's that kind of optimism that, well, I want to be frank with you. Luck and I have spoken on it, and I think we're in favor of going after the Mind Flayers. I would hope we could count on your vote to uphold our original word instead of chasing down someone over a grudge.
Oh, I said the same thing yesterday. Or earlier today. I don't think we should chase her down. We know where she stays. We can find her after the fact, but right now innocent lives are depending on us to look into the Mind Flayers.
That's wonderful. One last thing. Do you need us to kill anyone?
What?
It's simply an offer. It's been quite boring.
Silas, you can't just kill people because you're bored.
It's not because I'm bored. I'd be killing them because they deserve it and because they upset you.
Silas, you can't just decide that anyone who I say should die deserves it.
Why? You're far more righteous than I am.
Because I'm not perfect either. No one needs to be murdered today, Silas.
What about tomorrow?
Nope. think there's been plenty of killing for a while.
All right, well, I tried to reason with you. Very well.
Heavy intimidation, perhaps?
I'll be sure to call you first.
That brings up an excellent point. All you have to do is cut off at least 2 fingers, and they usually fall in line.
Or say exactly what you want them to say, regardless of what they actually know.
Well, then you know who's guilty, don't you? Adriana,
Yes.
I'm fucking with you.
Wow. Wow.
I can see that it was good for you.
All right. Well, that's a relief. Did you need anything else, or?
Like, do you want to share the wine with her, or leave it for just us?
I don't mind sharing the wine with Adriana. I can appreciate someone who can make good decisions. And despite our differences, Adriana, I do believe you to be that person.
Andy kind of nods and says, I'd be glad to have some wine I could use to drink after today. And for what it's worth, I respect the both of you as well.
She lies so convincingly, but I appreciate that she tries at least.
It is not a lie.
Silas will pour her a glass and they'll just drink for the rest of the evening.
All right,
Okay.
so the the bottle of wine is uncorked and shared amongst the 3 of you in the private quarters. So we'll hop on over to Eclipse, Vega, and Lysander, as he's just entered the room, leaving Zizix to do his due diligence on the amulet that he had left with him. What's going on with you guys?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
I would probably just ask them their opinion on where we should go from here. Do you guys think we should take the time to pursue Avarice now, or do you think we should go handle the Mind Flayers?
I mean, the Mind Flayers seem like the bigger issue.
I've given it some thought, and as much as I would love to track her down, I feel like our efforts might be more, better suited to accomplish the mission we set out to do.
All right, if that proves to be the way the others feel as well, I'm fine with that. I want it known that I do feel like whatever she's going there for is probably not going to be good for anyone. And if she comes back here before we do, it might be a problem for these people that we just rescued.
That very well may be. And if that is the case, if we're still trying to figure out what's going on with these Mind Flayers, at least we'll be here.
Well, we won't be here if we're dealing with the Mind Flayers, because they're
Right, never mind.
in Dugan's Hole.
Yeah.
Feels like a whole 10 days since, this day felt like a 10-day.
Agreed.
But I would recommend that if we choose to pursue the mission at hand, that we warn the public here. We warned the town speaker, and I would suggest to just execute her on sight.
Agreed.
I don't think they'll have a problem with that.
I don't think so either. Like, to be honest, these people just have their town given back to them by the caregivers or Silas's Angels, whichever name you prefer. And
Not crazy about either, but I strongly prefer caregivers to Silas's Angels.
But if she were to return, she would definitely be an enemy of the town. And Eclipse, you kind of get the feeling that she would know, and she would be in communication with Levistus, and she probably would not be coming back here of her own volition.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Thank you. God, Andy's being insulting over here.
Andy, knock it off.
Sorry.
Oh, man. We will go ahead and go out to the dining room where, Carcass, you're being nudged awake. As you start to get nudged slightly on the shoulder, you see an unfamiliar face looking at you and saying, excuse me, sir, but it is time that I clean the table, and I must ask you to move.
Oh, what time is it?
It's just past noon. The light is about to leave for a while. If you have anything to do in town, you might want to take care of that sooner rather than later.
No, it sounds like time for the carcass lunch.
Lunch is not quite ready soon. But if you would like to wait in your room, we can come and get you when it's time.
Oh, okay. Where is my room?
I believe you and your friends had the rooms upstairs. Just go up the stairway, and he points over in the direction of the stairway and says it'll be on your left.
Okay, I will go to the stairway and turn to my left.
Right. And going into that door, you walk in on Silas, Lek, and Andy, all drinking some sort of blood-like fluid.
Oh, do you have the bloods without me?
It's wine, but you're welcome to have some if you prefer.
Oh, no, that does not sound as good. The mean man in there said I could not eat and that I should go to my room.
You could always drink his blood.
Oh, no, I'm just hungry for lunch.
Lunch? I feel like we just ate dinner. Ah.
You guys have eaten recently, but Carcass is a bottomless pit.
Indeed.
We could see about procuring you another cow if you're interested. I'll even pay for the butchering this time around, so that way it's less we have to do. Unless you get more pleasure in butchering it yourself, what do you prefer?
Oh, what does pokering mean?
Cutting it up and stuffing it in your own bag and eating it that way. Or we could hire someone to do the cutting up and you'll just have a bunch of meat.
Oh, I don't really need a bunch of meat in my bag. My bag is for my things.
Very well, Carcass. It was simply an offer.
Yes, but you said you took the Carcass's things, so I don't want you to do anything.
I completely understand. I would love to try and regain your trust without uses of magic and deception sometime. So if there's anything I can do to make things right, please let me know. Provided that thing allows me to keep my life.
Oh, I will think. That is what I'm good at. And I will turn to And, where is my room? He said I could go there and they would bring me lunch.
I'll show you, and Andy will stand up and kind of lead Carcass to the room.
Okay. And you lead him down the hall and past Zizek's zontical zone and take Carcass into your room, or into his room. Is there anything else you guys would like to discuss before we check in on Zizix?
I think we're good, unless Lek has anything.
No, nothing. Lek has nothing.
All right. Zizix, your time of investigating this amulet, quite a bit of time has passed, and you casted Identify on the amulet, I believe?
Yes, as a ritual.
Okay, 1 second. So, you're getting a number of different magical auras from this amulet. The one that you're really getting is whenever it flickers in its light blue aura, you just detect this presence of evil, and then the rest of the magic aura just kind of slips away, and it seems to be some sort of channeling that's occurring at that moment when it's flickering. You have taken care to only identify it from a distance, last I recall. But it seems like that the secrets of this amulet are locked away.
Oh, locked away where?
Within the amulet itself.
Does the amulet have a keyhole on it?
No, just the sword pointing downward in the triangular shape.
Gotcha. And this amulet, is this the exact same amulet that we've seen on other members of the guard here?
Yes, it's the
Gotcha.
exact same one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Make one intelligence check.
It's 15.
15. So, because it's been difficult for you to identify this sort of thing, you get the notion that maybe you're not the best one to try to detect things that are going on within this amulet. Just because you know the origins and how it's been essentially demon touched, or devil touched, as you will, you may not have the right tool set for this.
Would I have an understanding of who might?
You would say a cleric or a priest or someone in tune with the radiant.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, then Zizix is going to command Pointy. It's gonna say, Pointy, you need to get everyone together. Bring them here now. And he would take off and try and get everyone to come to the Zontical Zone.
All right. So as Pointy goes around and makes his rounds, is everyone going to follow Mini Carcass?
I'd honestly like a visual of how he's going to ask us to come. I'd really like that.
Go ahead, Zizix.
He's gonna just go up to you and just tug on the hem of your robes or a cloak or whatever.
And then just run away.
Yeah, and just kind of try and just drag you along with him. And then, if you guys follow, when you get to the Zontical zone, he'll just kind of tap on the door and keep going until he collects everyone.
Can I, just for fun, can I roll insight check on the robe tug to see if I'm going to follow or not?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. Oh, dirty 20. I definitely go with Pointy.
Yeah, you definitely pick up on Pointy's body language.
Silas, I think Zizix wants us to, I don't know, he wants us. And I'm bored, so.
Who doesn't? Very well, let's go.
And everyone else as Pointy makes his way towards you. Are you following him?
I mean, it sounds adorable, so I'm in.
I guess. I prefer the dog.
Yes, I will join.
So, you're all collected, and they slowly start to trickle into the Zontical zone. Zizix, what would you like to do?
All right. So Zizix, as they're coming in, he's just pacing back and forth, and he's making sure to tell everyone as they come in, don't touch anything. You look with your eyes, not with your hands. But as everyone gets into the room, he's just going to, in traditional Zizix fashion, gonna stand up on a stool to make sure everyone can see him. And he, sorry, I should have probably prefaced this. Zizix is going to get like a cloth and toss it over the amulet. Kind of like, the whole, Lord of the Rings crystal ball thing.
Yeah.
Guys, we're in a bad place here. This amulet that all of these guards are wearing, there's just some kind of evil magic channeling through these things. And from what I can tell, whenever it flashes blue, they're being told what to do by some evil presence. So I don't know everything about this, because this is just an area that I'm just not familiar with. But I think we need to head to Bryn Shanda. We need to find Artemis.
Why Artemis?
I think he may know or be able to help us on this.
Okay, that is worrying.
This is evil.
Well, isn't it some kind of comfort then that all of the possessors of this amulet, for the most part, are now dead and frozen?
No, because they weren't themselves.
I'm sorry, but we were on our way to Dugan's Hole to investigate mind flayers who, correct me if I'm wrong here, essentially make people their personal puppets. So I would like to know is how
I
this
do think we should deal with
over
that. I think we should deal with the mind flayers first, because those can become a much bigger problem if we let them go.
Right, yes. I mean, I understand what you're saying, Zizix. I do. I feel like we keep on getting distracted. Forgive me, but I'm a very direct person. It's frustrating.
Well, forgive me for wanting to bring attention to you of this evil presence in our presence.
I don't think he's upset with you, Zizix.
And we never heard from Zizix again.
I think
you'll hear from him.
we need to know about the evil presence, but we also need to take care of the mind flayers first, because if we don't, they could become a bigger issue. But why don't we take care of the mind flayers and then head straight to Bryn Shander?
A bigger issue? This could be oral.
If I may remind everybody what Kadroth had mentioned whenever I asked him about this, it wasn't just an open line of communication. Whenever that thing glows blue, it means that he is talking to somebody. And it's not just Leviticus. It's an open line to Asmodeus.
Why would they have an open line to Asmodeus? They don't like Asmodeus. It's Levistus that they worship. That's who I would assume they're talking to through these things. Asmodeus has imprisoned Levistus. They don't want anything to do with Asmodeus except for his destruction, so that Levistus can be free.
Sam, can you remind me, because I left my notebook at home, what was the whole thing about that with Asmodeus? Kadroth mentioned that.
Yeah, so it's not aligned to Asmodeus at all. It's just that Levistus is Asmodeus's prisoner in the 7th plane of hell. And all it really is whenever Levistus is trying to channel a message, that's when the amulet glows blue. Kadroth mentioned that he does not hear from Levistus for whatever reason. Levistus does not like him. So whenever you were in the room with him, his amulet was always dull. However, the others would glow blue as they would be receiving communication from Levistus himself.
Right. Right, because Avarice was his selected officer, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and he didn't like that. Yeah, that's that thing.
Yeah.
All that.
So yeah, we know that it was Levistus that they were contacting when these things would glow. We know that it's all Levistus, and Levistus is imprisoned, and they were the only followers that we know. So this shouldn't be a pressing threat, is all I'm saying.
As Vega completes his sentence and starts to continue on, the light emanating from the amulet shines through the cloth that was draped over the amulet. And you all wonder to yourself if anyone should answer.
I'll answer if you want someone who could probably stand the suggestion.
Maybe it should be Andy.
Me?
You have your bloodline. I don't know if evil can touch you.
I'm gonna walk over and grab it and say, we don't have time to waste.
Oh, Zizix would so tackle him.
Okay. So as Lysander starts to make his way towards the amulet, Zizix goes to intercept. You are physically restraining Lysander at this point?
Yep.
Okay.
With
Lysander, if you resist, you guys would make contested strength checks. With Pointy's help, Zizix would get advantage. Do you resist is the first question.
Yes.
Okay.
That is 14.
Hang on, my dice is frozen. 1 sec.
D&D Beyond, dice won't freeze, except, sometimes, like now.
Alright, I got a 12.
Ah, shame. So, as Zizix jumps in to try to intervene himself between Lysander and the amulet, Lysander is able to extend his reach over the short Zizix and pick up the amulet.
I'm going to look down at Zizix and say, do we want answers or not? and I'm gonna try to listen in somehow. Whatever this thing does. I'm not gonna put it up to my ear or anything like that.
Like a walkie-talkie.
Hello? No.
I mean, Zizus is going to respond and say, "Well, I know what this did to you, and you're not impervious to its effects. Andy is probably the only one here."
Rude.
You're already evil.
So, what do you
Exactly,
suggest?
so it won't do anything.
What do you suggest I do, Zizix? Just hold it?
Well, he's already holding it now. Let's just see what the fuck happens, shall we?
Yeah, everybody, shut up.
No, you shut up.
Jeez. All right. So, Lysander, as you grasp the amulet and you look into it and you see that the glow is still there, as you clench it just right, you start to hear background noise inside of your head that sound like the winds of a strong blizzard are coming through. And you hear a voice emanating through, and it says,
"To the holder of this amulet, understand that you have slighted me personally.
Can I respond telepathically?
you can certainly try.
And
What do you try to convene telepathically?
that, and
Oh.
Just know that this act, you have made an enemy of Levistus and those that follow me. There is only one outcome for you at the end of all of this. That is an icy peril.
And the blue emanation starts to fade away.
ah, damn, I wanted to talk to him some more. You still there?
There's no
Did I lose-
response at this point.
Did I lose you? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Good.
He must have gone through a tunnel.
That's how you
They
ran
were
out
noises.
of any time minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm going to turn to the party as I watch the glow go away and look up at everyone and say, well, you know how easy it is for me to make friends. Levistus is mad. He's actually personally angry at me, as if I was the one that did all of this. But yeah, he wants to kill me.
I mean, who fired the first shot here? Let's be honest.
Are you sure that's not just the royal you? Like you as a whole, not like one particular person, but like whoever's holding it, he's pissed at.
That is what he said specifically. The
I mean-
holder of this amulet, you have slighted me. You have slighted me.
We did just overthrow his followers, so that kind of makes sense.
Yes.
Having a god pissed off at you specifically. It's fun, ain't it? Welcome to the club, bud.
To be fair, it was glowing when I was covered by a blanket. Maybe they're mad at the blanket.
Zizus is going to nod and say, "Yeah, that's it."
Again, I feel like it's very important to notate that I'm fucking with you.
I don't know, is it a scratchy blanket? Because if so, I'd probably be mad at it too.
Oh, 100%. Those things have no business still existing.
Well, I think the important takeaway here is that it's not directly linked to Oro like was theorized a little earlier. I don't know if that bumps it back on our list of priorities or not, but let it be noted.
Levistus is imprisoned. Most of his followers are now gone. I think he can keep blowing smoke up our assholes all he wants, but we should deal with the more pressing matters first.
I could not have said it
I
better
agree.
myself.
100% on the same track as Vega. Never thought I'd say that.
So,
There's first time for everything there.
And before we start pointing fingers at who started all this,
Oh, that was just me.
No. Even Miranda said something. Andy said something.
wait, what?
Mirandy.
Mirandy.
Oh, I said we took out the followers.
Right. Who said that we fired
Oh, that was me.
fired?
That was me.
That was-
I made the
that was-
opposite
That was a DM
comment.
statement.
Yeah.
That was the disembodied voice of God.
Right. Okay. Never mind. Oh, shut up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to instigate that.
They were bad people. They imprisoned the whole town. They took over their fortress and anyway.
We're all on the same page as far as that
Absolutely.
goes.
I was hoping to get Levistus' number.
I mean, you hold on to the amulet, you got it.
You gotta have it.
I am gonna do that though. I'm going to pocket the amulet and say if he wants to talk again, I've got a few more things to say. So I'm gonna hold on to this.
Do you not think that he could track us with this?
Oh, I'm sure he could.
But again, he's imprisoned by a more powerful deity, so what the fuck's he gonna do?
Well, he may be in prison, but I mean, he obviously has means for communication to other people.
Yeah, most of which are dead now, so that leaves Avarice, who we want to kill anyways. And what's his nuts? The Kadroth, yeah. Who left on decent enough terms. So those are the only two followers left that we know of.
Yeah, and I don't think that Katroth will want to cross our path again. So, the way I see it, we could either use this to blend in with other cultists, or if they do get word of what happened here, then they can come by and we took them out easy enough. They're bad people.
Don't I wouldn't agree with that. Like, most of these people were offered like the amulets themselves, they're inherently evil, so the people, when they pick them up, I mean, does that make them evil, or is it evil influence?
You know, why don't we keep an eye on Lysander for a while and determine that ourselves? I'll kind of wink at Lysander when I say that too.
Okay. But I think there was something else I was thinking of and it slipped my mind. Oh, I lost it. Carry on.
We'll come back to it.
Truthfully, it sounds like this is something that, regardless of when it bites us in the ass, and it will bite us in the ass, there's nothing we can
Oh, there it
truly
is.
do about it.
We won't be able to blend in with the cultists using the amulet because Kadroth will just tell the cultists that we're not one of them through their amulets.
Yeah. We're not going to be able to blend in, but it's not going to... Again, I don't think there's many followers left now. And if there are, we can handle them.
Essentially, you guys are okay with leaving an open door for this to bite you in the ass eventually. Like, you're like, all right, we just took out all of your group. If you want to come at us, come at us.
I'll put it out here now. Zinix is not okay with that.
I mean, we've got a lot of stuff to deal with.
I will face the consequences of our actions.
I don't know. Like, we've been chasing these mind flayers for a really long time, so I assumed that's what we needed to do. But now I feel like we're doing the wrong thing.
Have you ever heard of the playwriting technique Solomon's Sword?
No.
It's simple. You introduce a sword in the first act, and by the third act, someone needs to be stabbed with it. This is Solomon's Sword. We can't do anything about it now, but eventually it will stab us, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
I feel like this is a opportunity for us to establish some things. We seem to have a lot of parchments in the works, if you will, and I feel like we need to establish some group priorities. Obviously, we all do not agree on many different things, but I feel like our overall mission should probably be stated clearly, as I'm quite frankly a little uncertain as to what it is. So, the way I see it, we have going to take care of the Mind Flayer problems as a service to the 10 towns as a whole. That's one possible priority. Then what Oral was brought up a second ago, she's been brought up a lot. I feel like that could be another priority that we could pursue as well. So which is our greater priority? Or is there other priorities that I'm missing? Someone please help me.
Well, I would say Oral is the greatest priority, but that's more of a long game. There's
And
not
I
much
think we may
can
find
do at the moment.
answers regarding Oral as we work through some of these other priorities.
Agreed.
I feel like at this point we're playing in a sandbox, so we need to focus on one corner of it.
Yes, I'm with you.
Understood.
My
agreed.
vote is that the Mind Flayers are the corner we focus on now.
I'm fine with that.
All
If
right.
we can all get on that page, I will be right there.
I'm on that page, and I won't lie, I feel like we've wasted enough time, and yes, I know it's just about dark now, but there's still so much day left. Why not travel overnight?
Why not indeed? Shall we go? Are we all in agreement? Mind Flayers.
Let's go.
Well, we're all gonna die eventually, I guess.
That's the spirit, Zizix.
Well, I can promise you, no matter how anybody dies, it will not be a boring death.
Says you, I'm going to die comfortably in my bed at the ripe old age of
That's
312.
really reassuring.
So, with that discussion seeming concluded, what I'm getting from you guys is that you guys are choosing to travel with what daylight you have left south to Goodmead as a pit stop before getting to Dugan's Hole. Is that accurate?
Hell yeah.
That is correct.
Always down for good mead.
Carcass, you realize you're leaving before your second lunch.
Oh, yes, we can't go just yet. I need to get my food.
We can take it to go, I'm sure.
Okay, then I need 2 lunches.
And
Fine.
with a little
Let's
bit
just
of
go on the road.
inquiry-
I'll get you a...
Go ahead.
So let's just go on the road. I'll get you an animal style and a double and some tin bits.
Oh man. So easy enough to acquire some lunch for Carcass to take to go, and you guys set travels towards Goodmead. Let's see. Let's roll for encounters. So as the sun is beginning to set within your first hour of this journey, you see that there isn't an imminent storm, but you see on the horizon that there are some very dark clouds from behind. So you're traveling away from it, but you're quite unsure as to what direction the storm is going at this moment. Would anyone like to try to identify which way the wind is blowing?
I will try.
Go ahead and give me a survival check or a nature check since you're a druid.
Believe it or not, being a druid, my survival is still better than my nature.
Well, I mean, you know.
got to survive in that nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
23.
23. So you see the storm and you keep an eye on the clouds, and you feel that this storm is headed in your general direction. But with that high of a roll, you know that the way the wind is also a little bit adjacent to where the positioning of the clouds are. You know that storm would particularly roll towards East Haven, more than continue south to Goodmead.
All right, I will relay that to the party. Looks like if we keep heading to Goodmead, this storm should miss us. It looks like it will probably head towards East Haven.
Shame for those folks, but we're not headed that way. Continue on to Goodmead then.
And on your travels, you make it without an encounter. You guys make it through the darkness towards Goodmead. You have traveled these roads often enough and on a regular basis that traversing the roads is quite easy for you all. So as you arrive in the darkness of Goodmead, you see that the mead hall is lit up and looks to be quite the epicenter of attention at the moment. Where would you guys like to go?
Oh, to the mead hall for sure for me.
All right. So as you guys make your way towards the mead hall, you see just about every citizen of Goodmead is here, and you notice as well, you still have your bugbear troop behind you. As you guys are entering, they say, I hate to bring this up, but it's about time for our second round of payment, or we can part ways here if you'd like.
How much was it per day again?
It was 1 gold per mercenary, and they currently have 5, so 5 at the moment.
All right, well, I paid for the first day. I can pay for the second too if no one else will volunteer, but...
Oh, I'll get this one. Consider it a generous offering from me.
And the bugbears take their coin and disperse it amongst themselves, and they tell you that they'll stand ready outside as bugbears entering with weapons into an established mead hall usually occurs in fighting. So they're going to lay cool outside.
Fair enough. They're very self-aware. I appreciate that.
So, as you guys enter, you see that there's quite a bit of people here. It's a good vibes in here. Good vibes all around. And you catch wind that the reason that there is sort of a celebration is that the bees have been flourishing. The mead is a hit. There is a cranberry essence to this mead that everyone is just in love with. And they just are seeing profits now through their trade with all of ESSA have been trickling down through the economy. And life seems to be on the upswing up here in Goodmead.
Hell yes.
And the bartender looks to the group and says, "First round's for free for you folk."
My favorite price.
Well, thank you kindly.
And he tips his hat to you, and he serves up 8 meads, 1 per person.
Wonderful.
But anything that you guys would like to do in Goodmead at this time, besides drink up and settle in?
I'd like to just find a seat in a corner and just kind of look around and just observe people for a moment, see if anything interesting pops up.
If he's sitting in a corner, I will go to that same corner and sit there and read.
Okay. Lek, go ahead and roll a d20.
What excitement. And 8.
8. So, you overhear some chatter going on over towards the bar in your corner of the meat hall that you chose, and you overhear two individuals trading stories, and one guy says, once this cold really evens off, I really want to head northwest of Bremen. There's a wrecked ship out there that's, I heard it's called the Dark Duchess, but supposedly it's full of supplies that we could really use, and I think that'd be worthwhile once it's traversable. And yourself and Vega would overhear that.
Upon hearing that, I'd probably look up from my book and just share a glance with Lek. Like, that could be worth something.
Indeed, Bremen. Well, as it happens,
go there in 9 months.
Bremen is a pretty good way away. So,
it is.
Yes. We'll keep that on the back burner for the time being. But I know, that's enough for now.
Well, since the dice that you just dropped rolled a 9, I say we'll probably get there in about 9 months.
Safe bet.
Indeed. Well, okay. That's always something going around in these parts, it seems.
Oh yeah, always something. There's, the sandbox, as someone put it earlier. Chris did. So, other than drinking your first round, perhaps getting a second round, is there anything else that you guys would like to do before turning in for the night?
Oh, to clarify, I'm currently reading the books I have about mind flayers specifically.
Okay, very good.
Trying to find out anything and everything I can about them before we possibly have to face them.
All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and make a roll. Intelligence.
Yeah, damn it. I got a 6.
You got a 6. Okay. So you read through and you get some passages about mind flayers having the ability to extract a brain successfully from any incapacitated individual that is nearby. So be on the lookout for that.
Shit.
I get inspired by Vega's reading, so I pull out my copy of Mind Flayers, What's in Them, and begin my own research.
All right, go ahead and make an intelligence check on that.
You know I will.
Would that book be intelligence based?
Well, it's comprehension. Comprehension.
Fair enough.
9.
You are able to see that mind flayers, even though it's not technically in them, have the ability to create vessels and puppets of people, not only by magical means, but by cultivating this certain breed of leeches that they implant inside of an eye of an individual. and the leech would work its way back to the brain and sort of nuzzle itself in and try to take control that way.
Oh, well, I am not turned on at all. This will not suffice. That's like very, very slowly shuts the book and then just stares at Vega for a while. Not saying anything, he just stares blankly.
Well, Vega's reading, but once he notices that, he'll probably look up and say, you all right there, buddy?
Vega, mind flayers are very disturbing creatures.
Yeah, I am coming to understand that.
No, you don't understand, Vega. I'm reading a smut book about them. And what I'm reading is just not... If it's a smut, then I don't know. What mind flayers... I cannot believe... I mean, I believe in our mission, Vega, but I will be honest, I'm very concerned for our well-being in this venture.
Yeah, I'm not exactly excited. I'm just gonna keep plugging away at these books and see if I can find anything about what their weaknesses are or their vulnerabilities or anything like that. That's mainly what I'm looking for now.
Well, I just found out that one way they control someone's brain is by implanting small leeches in their eyeballs.
Oh, that's wonderful. Also, yeah, don't pass out by one because they can take your brain out.
Good.
Yeah, just for shits and gigs, you know.
I'm going to go get another drink, Vega. Would you like something else?
Absolutely.
I'll cover you.
Thank you.
So 2 meads served up quick as Lek goes and retrieves them. I will clarify for consistency of the smut book, there was a passage that explained quite like plainly in very like poor acting equivalent of like a porno. This usually goes in the eye, but instead he had other ideas. So we'll leave it at that.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
In the distance, Silas just plays a very funky bass line.
Oh. D&D After Dark, indeed. Oh.
Yes.
So, anything else from the people that are not researching mind flayers at the moment?
Did anyone want this chainmail? Because if not, I might just see if I can get some coin for it here.
I am great on armor.
Sounds like no takers.
Well, then I'm going to go find someone to buy some chainmail off me, because it's useless to me.
So as you start to look around the tavern, you see a few guardsmen that have some hand-me-down gear, and you think that might be a good shot to offload this equipment.
Absolutely. Folks, what are you looking for? A bit better duds, as it were, something that might make it more difficult for a sword to run through you.
Oh, absolutely! And this dwarf kind of steps up, and you see that his chainmail is rusted and is degrading. And he says, "This armor is a disgrace. I need an upgrade."
Well, are you in luck? I have a only slightly used piece of chainmail here, ravaged from a terrifying tower. Who knows what enchantments it might hold? But I am willing to part with it for a slight price.
What is it?
Well, I'd say ordinarily such a thing might retail for 75. I'd be willing to let it go for, let's call it 50. Gold, that is.
Well, I know you can't sell that back to a store for Oh, you can probably get 20 gold out of it if he's nice. Call it an even 40.
Even 40. Let me see.
If you would like to roll insight and he'll try persuasion, we can go that direction.
Yeah, you know what? That's fine with me. I'll do insight for him. That's a 13.
Yeah, that beats him. So you would definitely think that that was quite a quick offer from him, and you think you can squeeze some more out of him.
I'll tell you what. I'll go down by 5. 45. We'll meet in the middle, as it were.
You got it.
Wonderful. Here you go.
You can add 45 gold to your inventory.
Beautiful. Thank you for your business. I'm sorry, I don't think I caught your name.
You can call me Jag.
Well, Jag, I hope your last name isn't off, but it's a pleasure doing business with you.
No, my last name's off 10.
An absolute delight. I shall write a ballad about you one day.
Well, I look forward to hearing it.
And I'll head back over to the bar and sit down and look over to Eclipse and be like, I'm not writing a fucking ballad.
All right. So as the day starts to simmer and the patrons start to slowly filter their way out and head back home, you see that the bartender is looking to you guys. We've had a few rounds, and they'll ask, you looking for a place to stay for the night?
As I kind of look around at the party to make sure no one has an objection to me saying this, I'd say, yeah, I think that would probably be the best route for the evening.
Are you offering friends of the speaker?
Oh, I know exactly who you are. We got some room in the back. It's kind of refurbished since the last time you guys have been in town. But it's not an individual. It's not individual rooms. It's just one big sleeping hall, essentially.
That should be fun.
Yes, we can cuddle up together for warmth.
Yes.
Sounds fine by me either way.
Ooh,
On the house.
Vega's up to cuddling.
It's been so long since we've done a slumber party. Are we doing manicures? No? Very well.
Andy just kind of deadpans at him.
Lek had prestidigitation ready on his fingertips.
Damn straight. Fine.
So, without objection, then you guys, after you're done drinking and researching, make your way on back and settle into the room. Anything you would like to do before you guys call it a night?
Not I.
Nah.
I actually would want to talk to Vega again really quick.
Okay.
You want me to do that now, or?
Sure.
Say Vega, my book, ironically, kind of got me to thinking it might be in our benefit to research the different ways mind flayers can gain control of one's mind. I feel like that might be an important thing to know all the strategies going into it. Otherwise, I fear we may end up as puppets. So.
Well, I tell you what. Here's all the books that I have. I'm going to lay them all on the table. All the Mind Flayer books that I have. And I'm going to say, why don't you start scouring for that information, and I'm going to keep trying to find their weaknesses, because I think both are very important to know.
Perfect. I'm not tired. I'll go ahead and pick one up and start now.
Okay. Go ahead and give me further intelligence checks.
Checks, not saving throws, right?
Yes.
Damn, because I'd really like for it to be a saving throw.
Well, if the book attacked you, then perhaps it was a saving throw.
Yeah, what do you use an intelligence saving throw for?
Certain magic spells, or basically magic spells.
Okay.
Maybe mind players.
Yeah, maybe for mind players. Who knows? 14. 2.
Yeah, my God.
He picks up one of these other books, but he feels drawn to go back into mind flayers. What's in them?
Great. I like the pictures.
He's like actually trying to pick up a different book, but he just keeps picking up that one, and like, no, honey, it's still the smut book. Like, stop.
So, Vega, as you read through and try to look for anything about weaknesses or strengths, you don't really find anything, but you do come across this weird thing where the passage reads, each time that a mind flayer tried to overtake my mind, I felt like I was trying to save my intelligence from it.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay.
Nice.
Fantastic.
But that is the most that you guys are able to gain out of your reading this evening. So, as that starts to wrap up, I haven't heard anything else from the rest of the party. I assume you guys are ready to pass over through the night and head out in the morning, heading towards Dugan's Hole.
Yep.
Or would you like to venture out into the wilderness?
As like a shortcut?
Yeah, because the last you guys heard, you knew that it wasn't at Dugan's Hole, right? That these mind flayers were somewhere outside of Dugan's Hole, towards the south. So you could either go to Dugan's Hole and then go south, or traverse south through the wilderness and try to see if you get any different indications of perhaps their location.
If we went directly south, wouldn't that be like directly across the Red Waters?
Let me take a look here at the map. I'm glad Lek has his map up, like, easily available.
Me too.
Yeah,
So-
you got a nice drawn out map over here.
Damn!
So the Red Waters, yes, it's kind of like an emergence of the underground river, but it's completely frozen over at this point. So if you were to go through the Red Waters, it would be traversing over ice.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yes. Well, yes, I'd say, I'm not eager to go back to Dugan's Hole proper, so how about we just cut across the Red Waters and see if there's anything on the other side that might be nearby Dugan's Hole. Just a thought. That I shared out loud, apparently to no one in particular.
That could be interesting. Are you sure the Red Waters are sturdy enough for us to cross?
I guess.
I mean, it's not like it hasn't been winter for forever long here. Not like there hasn't been a giant, awesome blizzard that rolled through nearly not that long ago. Yeah, I'm sure they're very secure.
I'm sure that the locals would be able to add some input.
Would I be able to roll survival or nature to see if I would know that?
Yeah, you can do nature. Because you're from Goodmead. Eclipse, you could too if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to do that, Eclipse, because I rolled garbage. For the record, that was 5.
Okay, hold on.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
21, yeah.
21. Very
That
nice.
is a little better than mine.
A little bit. My
so
dice are also freezing.
you knew when you lived here in Goodmead that you had traveled over the Red Waters a time or two just to get out and about in nature. So it's safe to cross over for sure. And if not, you can go around it towards the west and just circumvent it altogether.
So what you're saying is that it's safe to cross, but if not, we can use the lake as a bridge.
You could use land as a bridge.
Nah.
Or lek. So, with that, morning arrives. Everyone has their breakfast from the meadery. It's a very nice breakfast. It seems to have beefed up its menu since the last time you were here, with the trickling down effect of capitalism actually working as intended here. So as you guys start to head out and you're all filled up, are you guys ready to exit the town and head south?
Onward.
I assume we all got in a long rest there.
Yes. Long rest
Good, I was
for
down
all.
some spell slots.
All right. So, as you start to travel, you can see the Red Waters at a distance. It's a fairly wide river that looks to be completely frozen over. But you see that it does descend underground after maybe about a mile, I guess, over towards the west. It's a little bit of a rounded way to go and not a direct path, but you guys might travel west anyway once you cross the rivers going south, so you don't see the harm in risking it, or taking the safe route, rather.
Yeah, may as well.
Okay. I would like everyone to make an intelligence saving throw.
Hey!
Is this against a magical thing?
Yes.
Shout him out or wait?
Shout him out.
22.
Andy got a 19.
19.
17.
I got the 9.
I got a Lek got a 13, but I feel like this might be important, so may I use my DM inspiration to... What is it again?
It's a reroll of the d20. Yes, you can.
Alright. Oh, good. 7. So I'll keep that 13. That's good use of inspiration.
All right. So, with that, Black, you hear voices in your head. Let's see. What languages do you speak?
What language does who speak?
You, Black.
I speak Common, Elvish, Gnomish, Goblin, and Undercommon.
Okay. You're not exactly sure what is being said, unfortunately, but it flutters in and out. But as you continue to travel west, it seems like it's a stronger signal, essentially, and it's a little bit more clear. Still unintelligible to you, But you hear this voice just speaking sporadically.
Hey, is anyone else hearing voices in their head, or is that just me?
I don't hear anything.
Me neither. What is the voice saying?
I can't understand. It's a bit broken up, but the further southwest we go, the stronger they seem to get.
Oh, well then I guess we should keep heading southwest if we're wanting to find these fucking things.
Well, I would recommend someone keep an eye on me, just in case the closer we get to those voices, the less control I have over what I do.
Andy
Oh.
nods and she'll walk next to Lek.
Luckily, we're usually keeping an eye on you anyway, so that shouldn't be too hard.
Touche, Vega, touche.
I mean, if we have to chain you to a tree and leave you behind, I mean, that's cool, right?
Touche, Clips. Touche.
So, whoever is leading the party, I would like you to make a survival check.
On it. Would anyone like to assist me with this?
Assist you? Yeah.
That would be super helpful.
Yeah, it sucked.
Well, a 10 is better than a 7, so...
Okay. So you kind of more or less just follow along the river bend and make your way around and continuing in that general direction. I would like... Let's see. Eclipse. Make a perception check.
Can't read. Hold on. There we go. Nat 20.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, out of your peripheral, you see what looks to be a body laying face down in the snow. About 60 feet away from you.
Eclipse is just going to point in that direction and then start running over to it.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
15.
15. This looks to be some brown-haired individual. You don't recognize her at all, but she seems to have frozen to death, and as you try to move her around, you see that she has something in her grasp as she's holding this amethyst-colored gem that has like shards sticking out and resembling a pine cone kind of thing.
Can I remove it from her grasp?
Would you like to?
Yes.
And you do. And this thing weighs about 3 or 4 pounds. It's solid. You see it kind of emanating a purple light from deep within. It's a really interesting thing.
I'm gonna turn around and kind of hold it out to the group as if they approach where I went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have been following. Ooh, that looks pretty and shiny.
Well, it was worth holding on to while she was dying, so I'd assume it was important.
Zizix will kind of go up and have a inspection of it.
She'll hand it to him if he wants to look at it.
Yeah, he'll pull out his monocle.
So as do you take it from her, or is she just holding it and you're looking at it?
Well, I would not hold it with
Okay.
the with the whole amulet thing and knowing that it's cursed, I'm being a lot more suspicious about the things I'm grabbing. these
Sure,
days.
sure. Eclipse, what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking that I hope he knows what it is, because I don't want to hold on to it if it's bad.
Zizix, you hear Eclipse saying, I sure hope he knows what he's doing. I don't want to hold on to it if it's bad.
That's
I
what
would
she
just,
said.
I would just look up at her, and just wait to see if I hear anything else.
Why is he
And you see
looking at me like that?
Yeah.
And Zizix is going to say, that's interesting.
What is it?
And he says that's interesting as he's looking at you.
Oh shit. Do you? Oh no. She's like, your mouth didn't move.
His mouth moved. Yours
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said that out loud.
I guess I'm standing close by, so I'd look at Zizix and say, "What's interesting?"
I don't know what this is, but it's very interesting.
Do you think you might be able to identify it?
Oh, I'm sure I could.
Could you do it now if we give you time for your ritual?
Sure.
That would be wonderful, because I am very curious.
Could you tell us what's initially interesting about it, or?
Eclipse is gonna think his ritual is goofy.
Just
I'll
a
furrow
word.
my brow at her.
And at this point, everyone who's gathered around, you hear Eclipse very plainly in your head.
Everyone knows.
Ha! Oh, that's what's interesting.
Very fascinating. I could identify it in a shorter span if needed. I
surprised you
don't
didn't think
want
about me more
to
often.
delay us too long.
Excuse me? What?
So Silas
did I
is
say that out
offered to
loud?
cast-
Whoops.
Silas is offered to cast Identify as opposed to a ritual, so the party keeps moving.
Okay.
That's fine.
It does require me to touch it, if you don't mind placing it in my hand.
And she will do so.
Now cast Identify.
All right. You identify this as a psi crystal. Depending on your intelligence score, the range of your telepathy grows as your intelligence is higher. Also, alongside the range of your telepathy, the light inside of this psi crystal will also emanate a larger sphere, a radius of bright light. So as you start to grab it, you see that it... Let's check your score here really quick before I make comparisons. What is your intelligence score, if you can get to it before I can?
18.
So yeah, as you grab onto it, the light emanates much brighter from inside of this psi crystal than what it was while Eclipse was holding it.
Oh, how nice it likes me. And so assuming that I've identified it, do I have an idea of what it does then? Or
Yes. Yeah, you do.
is it reading my subconscious thoughts? We're transmitting, I suppose.
It's not transmitting because you're identifying it and you're aware of it as you cast it. Maybe initially, like a slip of, a few thoughts might have slipped out. But then you start to mind and harness your thoughts so you're able to not broadcast them unwillingly.
So for a split second, the party just hears the most self-loathing words. for a moment before Silas stiffens up and just says, "Could I keep this?"
I guess if you want to.
I very much do. I think I could find a use for it.
Lek, as you guys have drawn closer in this direction, the voices are still emanating pretty clearly now. And I would like you to make a perception check.
Six.
Overwhelmed by the voices inside of your own head, you can't really get a good lay on the surroundings.
You'd think I'd be used to having voices in my head.
Is he giving off any visual cues that he's hearing the voices currently?
I mean, you would definitely notice he looks probably uncomfortable, Lek? I don't want to put emotions onto your character.
Well, like I said, it's not like I'm not used to having a voice in my head. Usually I can understand it, though. So probably more so confused than uncomfortable, I would say.
Okay.
If I notice that look on his face, I'd probably look at him and say, "You look troubled. You still hearing those voices there, friend?"
Yes, it's like I almost understand what they're saying, but I can't at all, actually.
I have a thought. Silas, do you think you could hand that to Lek for a moment?
I suppose, but I was growing attached to it.
Not for him to keep, I just want to see if maybe it'll transmit what he's hearing to us.
Very well, and I'll hand it over to Lek and wait anxiously.
I take it. With trepidation.
And it does not broadcast the voices going into your head, but if you're not did you disclose what it was, Silas, to the rest of the party?
I did not.
Okay. Lek, what's surface thoughts?
I wonder if they can hear what I'm hearing. Why is it only me who has a voice in my head? Am I dumb? I don't think I'm dumb. I think I'm pretty smart. I mean, I got this far in life, I've been around 90 years. That's something that's something to write home about, Home. Fuck, I miss my mom. Fuck my dad. Fuck everything. Fuck life.
I mean, I think you're pretty stupid.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry for stupid. I don't know, if the mind flayers take me over, I hope they do the sex stuff to me, though. I think that's what I want.
Oh, please make it stop now.
All right, I'm gonna take it.
Take it away.
Might I have it back?
So did you hear the voices, guys? Did you hear the voices?
No, we did not.
I heard some voices, but unfortunately not what you're hearing. But bravo to you for being so open and adventurous.
Only Silas heard that, right?
No,
we all heard that.
you all heard that because you're all in range.
Oh, Andy's standing there and her eyes are just very wide. And then she's going to look at Silas and say, "Does that have something to do with this?"
Well, if we're hearing his internal monologue, yes, that's what this does. Which is why I would prefer to hold on to it. I feel like nothing terrible is going to happen if you hear my inner thoughts. It's the same shit I would speak out loud.
Ugh.
So that's actually kind of fair.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I hate it. Can we turn it off?
Well, I can certainly try, but I'll hold on to this for a bit longer, if no one has any objections.
Not
And
at
in his
all.
mind is like, please, do not object, I just want something.
I have no objections.
Wonderful, finally.
So, Do you stow it in your pack?
Yeah. I. Does this acquire like attunement? Like, what can I do with it so I can like get the full?
So Psi Crystal, and it does require attunement.
Yeah. So I can slip it inside a glove or on my belt or somewhere where it's going to be able to attune.
Yeah. Must have an intelligence score of 3 or higher. So if you guys really wanted, you could hand it to Carcass.
Oh God.
That may be great for a drinking game later on.
In any case, what would you guys like to do now?
What's Carcass thinking about?
I would like to keep heading in the direction of the voices getting stronger. Southwest, I guess.
Okay. So go ahead and make a perception check.
Goddamn 5.
Yeah. Nothing on the horizon to notice or anything like that. But you do continue to head southwest, and Lek continues to look confused. So, as you guys travel a bit further to the southwest, you cross over one of the ranges of a mountain, so you can see what's on the other side of that range, and inside of that valley, you see a slight plume of smoke. But as you gaze into that valley, you see an odd structure that you haven't seen before. It looks very alien to you. However, Carcass, you immediately recognize it.
Where are we going?
I'd say probably towards that thing.
I don't want to go there.
Why not,
Carcass.
Carcass?
I can't go there. You have to go without me.
You don't want to kill things with us?
Not those things. No, I don't want to go there.
Carcass, you don't get scared of anything. Why are you so scared of these things?
Well, you said we were going to go and hunt the mind flippers.
Yes.
And that is the Yaku. Carcass does not want to go.
Carcass, we're going to stop them from hurting people.
That is a good idea. Good luck.
Andy kind of looks at everyone else like, I don't know what to do.
Silas would like to cast Detect Thoughts on Carcass. It's a Wisdom save of 15.
Okay, Carcass.
Surprisingly, that is a 16.
Shit.
Wow. Did not expect that one. So
I did not either.
anything
I
on
never
the fail
expect
or on
those.
the save?
So if he saves, I don't get anything from his thoughts, and I just kind of look back, and it's just like, this must be something deeply personal to Carcass if he's willing to, overcome at this point.
Carcass, why are you so scared of these things?
That is what brought Carcass here. We crashed in the ship.
Okay, but what did they do that scared you so much?
They took me from Kotos. I just want to go home now.
Okay, well, if we defeat them, maybe we can find some evidence of where you came from there and try and get you back home. But we could use your help.
That is a good idea. I like this idea very much. You should defeat the Yagul, and a carcass will wait for you here.
Why are you... What did they do that scared you so much that you won't help us?
No, I don't know what they did to Carcass. I was there, and then I was here, and it was very cold. And I don't know what is happening.
Lek, the voices inside of your head have grown immensely strong. Very loud.
Hey.
You find yourself having to almost shout to speak because you can't hear yourself talk.
Hey, guys, the voices are getting very loud, and
Okay.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
I'm gonna get his attention and like hold my hand up, be like, okay.
Andy's gonna examine him.
Examine Lek or Carcass?
Yeah, I still don't have, because we're still only level 4, right?
Yeah.
Have anything to dispel something like this yet, so I don't know what to do.
My mother used to sing to me.
Andy then looks at Silas.
But in this case, I don't think that would help very much. Oh, I can't think clearly. I can't even hear myself think anymore.
Guys, let's just go get this done. If Carcass has to stay here, then he does.
Carcass, will you be alright without us?
Yes, it will be okay. If you all die, I will go back where we came from.
Wonderful peace of mind. Lek, do you think you need to go with Carcass?
I mean, I want to see this thing through, but I am legitimately concerned about what would happen if I stuck with you. And I know from experience it's never good to be alone, and I wouldn't want Carcass to be alone, so I'll stay with Carcass if that would be for the best, I think, maybe. Unless you disagree.
I'm not necessarily crazy about leaving two heavy hitters behind, but...
Yeah, Andy's gonna look through a book that she's got.
Okay.
Upon seeing her do that, I'm gonna ask her what she's looking for.
I know I have something for this. I haven't prepared my spells for the day, so is it okay if I do that since we took a long rest?
Yeah, that's fine. Not a stickler on that.
Cool. So she's gonna try and cast not lesser restoration, because let me do it. Can I like examine him and see what kind of condition is affecting him?
You can make an Arcana check.
Okay, that's a 14.
Just with his symptoms that he's having and the look in his eye and his general discomfort with auditory sounds and inability to control his own speaking voice, it's really hard to decipher whether or not that you would be the one to dispel that. Or if you have any ability currently, but I think maybe a lesser restoration might quell it for the time being.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of doing. Okay, so I'll cast a lesser restoration on him.
And the voices inside your head, Lex, start to dampen to where they were speaking these words that you don't understand very clearly and very loudly. They start to sound as if they're speaking through like a lot of curtains, and they're just dampened.
Ah, that actually helped a lot. They're not
Yeah?
gone, but they're still there. Thank you, Adriana.
Of course.
I think I'm good enough to continue.
Good.
As long as no one has any
That
objections.
again.
Of course.
All right. So, is the plan to leave Carcass behind here?
I guess so. Unless someone else can think of some way to convince him to come.
Oh, I could convince him, but I promised I wouldn't do it again. So unless the party absolutely needs him, I suggest we let Carcass stay.
I don't
No,
want to force him.
I don't want to force him either.
All right.
Well then, hopefully Carcass has a friend on board or something such as that.
Are we sure we don't want to cast something to get him to come with us? I mean, Silas isn't the only one who has suggestive abilities.
Sam, this is this like a, does it look like a starship or like a spaceship or something?
So I'll describe plainly what it looks like. Let's see, where is the...
Yeah, we have some art for that thing in the chat.
So essentially what you're looking at is what looks like a squid. It's purple and it has a long bow that curls upward, and it has like tentacles and what looks like webbing at the very front of the ship that's nestled into some of the rock face in the valley. But then you see trailing tentacles on the port side. I'm sorry, not port, stern. On the stern side that kind of curl around and are wriggling just slightly. They're moving. But then you see that, you know, it looks more like, it doesn't look like anything that you've ever seen on the sea.
Zizix will go up to Carcass and say, Carcass, is this how you got here?
Yes, this is what brought Carcass.
Then this may be your way home.
Oh, but they took me. I don't want to go there with them.
But Carcass, you have us now, and we need you to help get rid of them.
Carcass, we want to stop them forever. And you're so good at killing things.
Yes, I am very good at killing things.
And we're all here to help you. We're your friends.
I don't want to go, but I will go protect my little tiny friend Sticks.
Oh. We'll keep you safe, Carcass.
Okay.
And then Zizix is gonna tell Pointy to stay by Carcass, at all times.
Okay.
Andy's gonna go up to Silas and Lek. I assume they're near each other.
Sure.
And And she's going to say very quietly, I just promised him we'd make sure he's okay. We have to make sure he's okay.
You have my word. He will survive.
I'll be honest, Adriana, I'm a little concerned about myself right now. I mean, that's a usual thing for me, but
Me too.
they seem to have a bit of a grip on me. But I mean, I'll do what I can, but...
Right, and I'll look after you.
Okay, very good.
All right. So, you guys start to advance as a group towards the Nautiloid ship.
Andy got a 6.
Okay.
Nat 20 plus 3.
It's a 7 for Lek.
7 for Lysander.
3 physics.
And the 3 for Carcass.
We don't see shit.
You guys seem to be overcome with awe just approaching a vehicle of this stature. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. Clearly seems capable of travel through the skies, and who knows. But as you trudge deeper into the mountain valley, you see the stupendous and ominous cephalad, slimy, ropey tentacles of this ship, as thick as tree trunks, as they start to bury themselves into the snow and slowly try to find their way downward. Let's see.
Just to clarify, you heard that I got a nat 20 plus 3 on mine, right?
Oh, you did.
So
I heard
no.
everybody else, and
Yeah, everybody else rolled pretty
else
garbage
sucked.
on that one, and that's the one time I actually rolled pretty well.
all right. So you notice as you guys are starting to walk through that over on your right, Vega, you see a large continuous line of snow that's just been pushed to the sides, and it seems like it's been filled in a little bit, but it looks like that something very strong, there's a very strong burrower, had plowed through the ground around here.
Oh god. I'm gonna kind of hold up my hand to get the party to listen and just say, I don't know what it is, but it looks like something very large may have burrowed near here, so keep your eyes open.
I would like you at this point to make a nature check.
$19.
You start racking your brain about what could this be? What could plow through the ground and leave rocks as pebbles in their wake, as you see quite clearly that this thing had gone through one of the spurs of mountain that had come out into the valley. It just bowled right through it. And you can tell that it had a massive impact. The thing that comes to your mind is a bullet, which is basically a land shark that has very long claws. Its head is shaped like an oval that comes to a point where its beak and its jaws meet. But you know it to be a fierce predator and could attack at any moment if you are not paying close attention to the tremors in the ground.
Okay. Guys, I think this might be a bullet. Keep a close eye and ear out for tremors. It could attack from anywhere at any time.
Let me send you guys a picture
Awesome.
in chat, just because Vega would, with that roll, would definitely know. So,
Damn.
you guys start to make your continued approach a little bit cautious. Lek, as you start to get closer to this ship, the voices almost seemingly out of nowhere dissipate. And your mind is quiet again.
I turn to Andy. Adriana, the voices have stopped. I find that to be odd. Even when you cast your spell on me, they were just faint, but now they're gone. It's actually
Maybe it had
worries
some
me.
sort of long-term effect.
Maybe. But we're getting closer to where you'd think the source of them would be. It's very strange.
That is strange. Let me know if anything changes.
Of course. I mean, I'm not upset, but I'm just worried, I guess.
Am I within earshot of this?
Yeah.
That might mean they know we're coming. I mean, we haven't been trying to be sneaky, so it's not very surprising, but that's what I take that to mean.
That's my concern as well.
Well, shit. Here goes nothing.
So, as you guys make your way around this ship and treading very carefully, you cannot see inside as any windows look to be opaque. It seems like that you would be able to see out, but not necessarily see in on this structure. But you start to make your way around and you see a set of stairs that lead up towards the tentacles and curve back around to what looks like the forward deck.
Well, up we go, I suppose, yeah.
You make your approach up the stairs, and you find yourself facing a wall that has some sort of webbings just all across it, and you start to really take notice of what this is. The stairs lead directly to it. What would you like to do?
Investigate it. See if I.
Go ahead
Sorry,
and
see
roll
if-
investigation.
Okay. That's an 8.
This webbing, whatever this is thick, and it covers this area of the wall like a web of sorts. But you do notice that quite a bit of it has been iced over. And as you kind of put your hand up towards it and near it, you see the webbing start to react. And it tries to pull apart. But you see it cannot, as the ice has closed it together.
Interesting. Are there any spots where it's not frozen that I can see if it will pull apart?
Yeah. So you go to the non-frozen parts, but you see that the webbing is all interconnected. So those parts also try to move and pull, but you see in this they all lead to this one area where both directions of webbing meet, and that in the middle has been iced over. So it's pulling on itself, but can't
Gotcha.
break.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Firebolt at the iced over part in the center.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack.
Okay. $11.
11. So you're able to now. You cast your firebolt and a small explosion, a very controlled explosion to just knock out the ice. And as the ice tatters down and falls to your feet. Like whiplash, the webbing just whips open and reveals the interior deck. On the deck, you see a ballista that seems to be also covered in ice. The back deck, there looks to be a double door in the middle on your right that looks to be made of iron, it looks like. And then you see 2 levels on your right above that door. You see one level that looks to be closed in as well, or at least has high walls. And then above that, you see a 3rd deck.
Does the ballista look like if I defrosted it, it could be something we could carry around and use?
So as you take a look, you see, well, give me another investigation because that first one was trash.
True story. That one was also trash. 6.
I mean, parts of it are kind of laying off to the side and totally disconnected.
Let me put it this way: does it smell useful?
It smells so
Because
useful.
then I can roll with advantage.
It's just giant spears, man. Giant spears.
Well, if I'm going off of smell, I get advantage.
But it does look like that with the crash, it may have been destroyed in the crash.
Okay. Then fuck the ballista. I guess I'll go look at the iron doors. See if they look locked and or trapped.
These doors too look very iced over.
Do I feel like my firebolt would be able to fix that, or is it too iced for that?
Maybe not just one firebolt, but maybe a couple of them would be able to do the job.
Okay, then I will try that.
All right, go ahead and give me 2 attack rolls.
First one is 17.
Okay.
Second one is 24.
All right, give me damage rolls for both.
8 and 9.
Perfect. It was just enough to break off the ice. And the crashing of ice hits the deck at your feet, but the door seems to kind of just barely swing ajar, so it seems to be open.
All right. Does it appear? I'm gonna look for traps before I try to go through it.
Investigate.
Try a different D20 here. That's better. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. You don't see any traps.
All right, then I'm gonna kind of turn to the party and kind of shrug and start to walk through, very cautiously.
So, with the sound of the ice being shattered, you sense movement in this room. But you're able to take in the brief description I'm about to give you of this room. Attached to the walls in this chamber are 3 sets of chains and manacles designed to hold large creatures. A staircase rises to the next deck amid crates, barrels, and broken bits of equipment. Moving among the detritus are 4 creatures. 3 of them small, repulsive purple things that float above the ground and pull themselves across the floor using oversized face tentacles. The 4th is a lumbering monstrosity made of stitched together parts from goblins, dwarves, and reindeer.
Gross.
And I would like everyone to roll initiative as you hear.
What?
Is that human?
No.
While we're rolling initiative, do I recognize these things to be mind flayers from the books
No.
that I've? No. Interesting.
Not any description that you've ever seen, and you've
Okay.
done your research.
Yeah. Okay.
9.
All right, 1 second. Let me get this encounter set up.
And I would figure if we had seen a mind flayer, that Caucus would be losing his shit.
Well, he keeps calling whatever took him in this ship Yargle, so maybe that's what those are.
Yeah, with his description and the drawings that he's done, I think we would probably kind of surmise that.
I don't remember ever hearing any of his descriptions. Did they match up with mind flayers or what we're seeing?
The mind flayers.
Oh, okay.
We're in a cave. I think it was with the Verbeegs that we killed.
Yeah.
I missed that session. I remember that one.
All right, initiative. Andy?
Yeah, he drew it a head in the ground.
Gotcha.
Miranda, do you have your initiative?
Mine's a 3.
3. Carcass.
A 15.
Eclipse.
9.
Zizix.
12.
Lysander.
Nat 20 plus 4.
24. Vega.
16.
Lek.
21.
All right. So,
Silas?
let's see. I don't have a great background for this. It was oddly very hard to find artwork for a spaceship. So, we're going to work with what we got here. So apologies in advance for that. But first up is going to be Lysander. And let me go ahead and get that art set up for these squidlings. What would you like to do as you are first to act on initiative?
Okay, you said lumbering monstrosity. How big is this thing?
It's fairly large. It's way larger than the things that are charging in at you guys. I would say it would rival Vega's size.
Okay. And are the squidlings between us and it?
Yes. The flesh golem is it's a good bit away and it moves quite slowly.
Oh, okay. And how far away are the squid monsters?
Let me measure that here really quick. Flip 'em. Sorry, 1 second. I'm still running. Oh, there we go. Probably about that big. All right. Let's see. Back to the map. So from your current position, they are about 35 to 50 feet away between the three of them.
And they're coming right at us?
Yeah, they heard the crash on the ice, and they started heading that direction.
They're coming right for us.
Okay. Then in that case, I'm going to draw my longbow and go after the one closest.
Okay. Go ahead and shoot your shot.
That's a 17.
That will hit. Roll your damage.
That is 6 piercing damage.
6 piercing damage. Very nice. So your arrow leases from your bow, and it goes right between the tentacles that this one is using to drag itself across the floor. But you hit the body of it behind, and you see him topple to the ground, and then you see the tentacles kind of quiver and start to continue to pull himself forward, and he goes back upright and is continuing his advance. Anything else?
Not currently.
All right. Next up would be Lek.
All right. Whichever squidling is closest, I'm just gonna fire a good old-fashioned Eldritch Blast at.
Okay. This would be also the one that just took an arrow from Lysander. Go ahead and roll to attack.
Okay. 14.
That will hit. Roll damage. Lek, if you would please describe your fatality.
All right. As little Gimpy is running with this big shaft of an arrow right through him, I look down my arm and feeling confident, I fire my Eldritch Blast as its bluish gray light strikes the squidling right between the eyes, and this orangish hole just appears right there, and the squidling just stops for a second. It's almost like time freezes. And then, slowly but surely, it collapses as its face turns to ash.
Very nice. One squidling down. Next up is going to be Vega.
All right. How far away is the flesh golem?
The flesh golem looks to be, let's see this map here. From where you are, looks to be about 60 feet away, but it's trudging slowly.
That's fine. It is plenty within range. So I'm going to cast Scorching Ray and aim one at each of the squidlings and one at the golem.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to attack.
Oh my. Sorry, my push talk came off. The highest out of those three was 12.
That hits.
Okay. Next one down was a 9.
Was that towards a squidling or a flesh golem?
Squidling.
It hits.
All right, and the other one was a 7?
That unfortunately will miss.
Okay, I kind of expected at
All
least
of
2 of
them
those to miss, so that's fine. All right, then I will assume I just missed the golem.
Yes.
Okay. I will roll damage for those 2 squidlings. Okay, the first one is 5 fire damage.
Okay. And the next?
$10.
Go ahead and describe your fatality for that one.
All right. I'm gonna say I tried to shoot the golem first,
Mm-hmm.
and
Push tuck one off.
God, it keeps doing that. So I tried to shoot the golem first and missed, and then kind of recalibrated and hit the second one, the squidling, and then got my confidence back up enough that I nailed the fucking third one, and it.
All right. Very good. And next up, you start to see movement coming from the upper deck. As the place is being shot, Eldritch Blast being fired, and one squidling being totally incinerated, the doors open to the upper deck. Standing there, looking at you, Vega, is not a squidling at all. I will describe it as I will put it on stream because I still have to change the art. You see the Yagul. In face, you recognize him as what Carcass has drawn. He drew them pretty accurately. However, they're much smaller than what you've read in the book. You see a gnome ceramorph. It's got the facial features as all the mind flayers that you've read about and did your research about. And you see he's holding something in his hand that is far too short to be a wand and has a needle at the very point of it. And he holds his hands up. And he says,
Run! Please! Enough! Halt your advance! These are people who could help us! Hello, people! Can you please help us?
With what?
You see, we are stranded here, and we are looking for a way to go home.
How did you get here? And why?
We were traveling on interdimensional space, and we had arrived here at this plane, but we came too close to the Earth, to this mountain, and we caught wind badly, and it sent us here into this mountain, and now we are looking for a way to power our ship to get home.
Huh. I'm gonna kind of turn to the party. Vega's at a fucking loss right now.
Where is home?
Home is in the stars. But we were hoping, now that our research has been completed, that we could return all of our prisoners, but they have escaped. And they're not really prisoners. They're just more like, test subjects. But we did not treat them badly. But Carcass? Is that you?
I am going to try and cower down behind the little tiny carcass pointy.
And the gnome Ceramorph starts to continue to descend his way down.
Andy steps between Carcass and the gnome.
Oh, trust me, I mean no harm to Carcass.
Why is he so afraid of you then?
Oh, I can show you if that is okay.
How are you going to show me?
Just don't make any sudden moves.
And he continues to walk down, and he says,
Carcass, he stayed over there.
and he points towards the very rear of the room, away from the chains. There seems to be some bedding and stuff made out of organic material that seems to be in a pile, kind of like you would see in a barn. And he said, and he continues to say,
Carcass did not like this.
as he goes over to the crate and he opens it. Inside, you see cabbages, you see leeks, vegetables. And he says,
Carcass did not like any of our food. And he did not want to eat. And he was just so upset whenever it was time for food.
Andy kind of presses her lips tightly together like she's trying very, very, very hard not to smile. And she says, ah. So, what kind of experiments exactly were being conducted?
Well, for Carcass in particular, there was a disease that had infested his tribe of Minotaur on Corfus, and we were looking to see if there was a way to weaponize it, but it turns out Carcass did not have it. He was not sick, so he refused further experiments. We just took some blood and examined it. But he was of no use to these experiments. They were very mild, I assure you.
Can I insight check him? Someone needs to.
sure, go right ahead.
I've been thinking about it for a while, but
Me too, but he's
I was
just so
too
freaking
intrigued.
cute.
16.
16, would anyone else like to insight?
Yeah, Andy will. And Andy has a 19.
Very, very oddly, he seems to be telling the truth. And
Guys, I think he's telling the truth.
he continues to explain just how he was benevolent towards Carcass, and he looks over at the squidlings that have been incinerated and burned. He says,
Oh no, what a mess is he? Oh, come on.
and he walks over to the squidlings, and in his coat he uncorks what looks to be some sort of spiky, bulbous item and inserts it into the body of the squidling, and you see the tentacles start to move back around and start to animate. And then you see the one that's still alive just looking at you. You swear that you hear it just smacking on its lips. And this, the gnome Ceramorph looks back and says,
You stay away from them, do not eat them. Those brains are not for you until we can get this ship off the ground, and we'll go find other brains for you. Okay? Now, as I was saying, we have done no harm to Carcass.
Well,
We've been very upfront and very kind to him.
What about what was the name of the nearby town where the people were having memory issues? I forgot.
Dugan's Hold.
Dugan's butthole.
What about Dugan's Hold? What about those people?
Oh, well, to be honest, we had sent out a distress signal. We did not know exactly what kind of language would be understood around here, so we have been trying many. Whether or not it had affected them badly, I am unsure. We have been stuck here.
We we've been under the impression that there was a mind flare issue.
Oh, well, I mean, we are mind flayers, that's true.
So
We prefer Yager.
right, but I guess I'm confused. Do you not eat brains?
Oh, yes, we eat brains. Yes, absolutely. Delicious.
He is right. Brains can be delicious.
Okay. So you have not been eating brains here.
No, not at all. We have not left the ship. It is too cold outside.
Okay. And all you want to do is go home?
Well, we just want to go home. That's all. We need to go back to where we came from, and we eat our native brains. Well, the squidlings, they eat the brains. Okay, we gotta get them fed. We usually like to get animal brains, maybe some graveyards, they're freshly dug, we take them, you know, simple
Okay.
things.
So
Can I roll insight on that?
Sure.
$12.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, 13.
oh, 13. Big difference. You sense that that might be a little shaded, you know, but seems to be mostly true, but it's hard for you to really think that they don't feed gnome squidlings any opportune brain that may come by in other situations where they're not severely disadvantaged.
That makes sense.
and Andy's gonna crouch down by Carcass and say, Carcass,
Yes.
is the food what upsets you so much about this ship?
I hate their food. Look at it. It is nasty and green.
And that's all?
There is no meat. They do not give Carcass the meat.
Andy's gonna like pat him on the back in a comforting manner, and then she's gonna kind of look up at the ceiling like she's just gotta focus on something so she doesn't laugh. I'm inclined to just help him get on the road at this point.
Yeah, but how the fuck do we do that?
How can we
Well-
help you leave?
I'm so glad that you have asked, for well, first, my name is, but for you can call me Dredavex.
Good, that's easier.
Hi, I'm Andy.
Andy?
Vega.
Vega?
Lek?
Black? Ooh, one syllable, much simple.
That's right.
We got a two syllable, one syllable.
Lysander.
Oh, three! We got a three!
Oh no.
Yay.
My name is Eclipse of the Moon.
Oh, fancy! She's fancy of all! The fanciest person!
Yes.
What about you, pink-haired person? About my size?
My name is
Nice to meet you, my name is Nimble.
Yes!
Now that we've all met and we have been introduced, we are looking for this.
And he makes a gesture towards the upper level, and you see the windows start to emanate and create a picture. And you see this purple crystal that's sort of glowing, and he goes on to explain.
We have detected here on this planet that this type of crystal contains enough of our fuel to be able to recharge our generation cells on our ship. Now, if you're having a hard time understanding, this ship is a living thing. If you could scratch the walls, you could tear it down, it regenerates itself. We need a little bit of this tiny crystal, and we can be on our way.
You wouldn't happen to know where we can find these, would you?
Well, we had detected them up to Tourmaline, I believe is what the name of the town is. Inside of that mine. 1 second, I'll be right back.
And he starts to go back up the stairs, and he looks to the flesh golem and he says,
You stay right there, you're not needed. Just wait until I need to get the things off the top shelf, okay?
and continues to go back up, and you hear a audible ping, and kind of like a tone that you would hear, when you see color bars on television. It sort of emanates for a little bit, and you hear it start to come from a second place. You look around and you see in Silas's pocket, it is also starting to ping. And the gnome Ceramorph comes back out and he says,
What? There's one in here. One of you has what we need.
Hmm. Well, isn't that handy?
Oh, it's very handy. That's very nice. That's so lucky.
But where is the next closest one in case we would like to give this one to you and replace it for ourselves?
He says, well, that's just a matter of waiting.
and he starts to lean back, and the thing that he holds in his hand, he puts onto a little, looks like a miniature pocket on his side. And then after about 45 seconds, maybe a minute, a third ping is heard. And he says,
well, because it returned the ping,
and he starts to scratch on the wall just a little bit. Looks like he's just doing some basic math. He says,
I believe there are more in that settlement. It looks like by the consistency of the sound, it's reverberated off of a lot of the walls. It is inside of a mine shaft in some of the townships to the north.
What townships?
I believe the name of it is Tourmaline.
Okay. Well, Silas, if you want to replace it bad enough, you or we can go up there at some point and do so, but I think it's best if we get them sent on their way.
Oh, yes, that would be very nice of you, Silas.
I suppose I can wait. And Silas reaches into his pack and produces the crystal. And the gnome Ceramorph walks over to him and says,
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. You understand how important it is for us to be in our home and traveling the stars and, interdimensional travel. It's a lot of fun. But don't feel like I'm taking this and giving you nothing.
and he reaches back to his side pocket. And he produces this thing that's a little odd looking. It's, let's see here. Let me see if I can describe it accurately for you guys. So this thing has like this golden needle, and then it looks like it has a short red handle, and it curves just slightly. And there seems to be some sort of like sheath that's partially covering the place where you put your hand. And he hands that over to Silas, and he says,
Now, you can only use this a couple times. I don't have anything for you to refurbish this with, but I would say you have about 40 shots. 40 shots to use this.
Lysander will step forward and ask, 40 shots of what exactly?
and he looks to you and he says,
This!
as he points it away towards the wall, and you hear as a red light shoots out from the needle of this device and hits the wall.
What's that?
And he says,
39 now.
Whoa. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I know. I made it. These are commonplace in our interdimension. But we only have so many, and I figured if you give this to us, we give him this.
I, for one, would love to have one.
Well, it's a one-for-one type of deal. You understand?
I do understand.
And because this is his, I think this would be his.
That is fine. I have no qualm with that. I do have a question that maybe you might be able to answer.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy. Shoot.
So, our friend Carcass here has been searching for his home of Kothos for a very long time. Do you happen to know where that is?
Yeah, I do.
And care to enlighten us, if you
Well,
would,
if you have the time.
and he starts to go back into another crate and open it up, and he pulls out this little octagonal black disc, and he puts it up on top of the crate, and he taps his fingers on it a few times, and then what looks like a hologram projects, and he says,
This little star right here, that's your sun. That's the thing in the sky. That's where we are. Kothos.
and he taps on his thing again, and you see that resemblance of the solar system that you are currently in totally morphs into like what looks like a wormhole, kind of an animation.
And then he says, this star right here, this is the star where Corthus is. And he has another star real close to it, but it's hard for people to see. It depends on your color spectrum on whether or not you can perceive that kind of light, but it's there. But that is where Corthus is.
Lysander turns to look at the rest of the party in slight shock.
Wow, did you not think we were aliens?
We didn't think Carcass was from a different planet.
Well, he's from a different universe.
So, have you guys visited this planet super often? There's a lot of books about you. It's the only reason I ask.
About us? What?
Well, there are books about mind flayers. You said you're a mind flayer, correct?
Oh, I see. We are different type of mind flow from different side of the universe. So while we are similar, we are not exactly the same.
Do you share a lot of the sex stuff in common?
What sex you talking about?
No.
No.
You can have this conversation on your own time. I have a different question for you.
Yeah?
If it proves to be what he wants, could you take Carcass home?
We will absolutely take Carcass home.
I'm gonna turn and look at Carcass.
I am still cowering behind the pointy Carcass.
I'm gonna walk up to him and kind of crouch down. And I'm gonna say, "Hey, buddy.
Yes.
They brought you here from way farther away than we realized. And the only way you could ever get back there is if you let them take you back there now."
Oh. But they don't have the meat.
How long of a trip is it? She's gonna ask the player.
Well, it's about, how do you tell time here?
Seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years.
We usually count.
So it would be equivalent to, the 4, 1634 days.
It's a long trip.
That is a very long trip. It is multiple years.
But, to be fair, the only reason why we got Carcass here in the first place is because we were able to put him into suspension because he refused to eat, and when he refused to eat, he was going to starve, and so we put him into suspension and it felt like no time had passed.
So Carcass,
Yes, vegetable.
we can get you some meat to bring, and they can put you in suspension. So you're just sleeping until you get there, and then you'll have meat when you wake up, and you'll be home, if that's what you want.
But you wouldn't be able to see us again.
But would I see the other carcasses?
Yes.
I do want to go home.
Well, this is your chance.
This is your ticket.
Sam, could I roll insight to see, just to make sure that the Flay is telling the truth about everything?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I probably believe him with a 10.
Yeah. And he looks to you guys, and he looks back and puts the hologram away and starts storing it back into the crate. And holding the psi crystal in his hand, it grows. The light that it shed when Silas was holding it is growing immensely now. It's bright light. It's lighting up this whole room, and he says, "Oh yes, this is very powerful indeed. But Carcass, if you would like to go home and see your friends, we can take you."
I do want to go home.
Well, this could be your only way home.
Oh, I don't know. I like some of these people.
But not all of them?
No, not all of them. Some of them I don't like at all.
Oh no.
Yes, my best friend, he said that some of them were not really our friends.
Well, you could go back to your actual friends that you grew up with.
Oh. Okay, I would like to go home, please.
And this gnome Ceramorph, he walks over to the party, and you can feel him start to really look at each one of you. And he says,
Well, I can tell that some of you are very sad by his decision. If you would like to convince him otherwise, you can feel free, but it sounds like he wants to go home.
If he wants to go home, he should go home.
I will be very sad to see him go, but this is his only chance to go back home, and if that's where he wants to go, he should absolutely take it.
Yeah.
If he wanted to go home on his own time, he'd have to acquire a ship like this, and there's only one of these around here.
Yeah, these are not easy to come by.
No, not at all. Not at all. So, with that being said, Carcass, do you have everything that you need?
Oh, yes, I have all of my things, but I will get my bag out and rummage around and get my special fork. So, see, I have everything that I would ever need in here, and I will hand my special fork to Styx. And say, Styx, if you ever see my best friend Ponty again, would you give him this for me?
And Zyx is like full on like sobbing right now, like of course.
I don't have any money to pay for this trip though.
Carcass, we don't take money.
Oh. Okay, then I don't need any of this, and I will put my bag of money out on the floor.
and he says, Ceramorph looks back to you guys and he says,
Well, once I put this into the mainframe, the ship will start regenerating, and it will be maybe a day, maybe less than that before we are ready to go. So, in the time being, would you guys like a tour?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, please follow me. Follow me. Over here. This is where we put our prisoners that are bad, evil things. They are very angry and they're very strong. That's why the chains are so big. It's very scary here. We don't like to go close. We let the flesh golem. We let him handle all of these things. He's much too tall for me to handle. Over here is, wait, I showed you where our food is and all of that. Got all that over here. Now, Carcass, do you remember these?
And he points up to the top room as he starts to lead you upwards. And he says,
these are our cryogenic stasis pods. Now, Carcass, you were in here for quite a long time. And this is where you slept for so long. Because you would not eat, it kept you healthy.
I don't remember that. I just remember the crashing.
Did you have one of the squidlings attack you? Is that why you are the way you are?
I don't know. I don't feel any different.
Oh, I'm gonna have it talking to those guys. I bet they took some of your intelligence. Anyway.
For the record, as we walked past, if Carcass literally just set his bag of money on the floor, I would have picked it up when we walked past it.
yeah, you would have. So he starts to take you around, and then you go past the stasis pods. They're semi-translucent crystal spheres that have like an opening that you step into, and then he takes you around the side and he says,
this is our battle deck. If anyone tried to attack us, this is where the majority of the fighting takes place. You see our armaments over here on the side? I don't think I can give you any of those.
As he points over to these jumbo-sized versions of the things he just gave Silas. And he says,
we need those just in case. This is where...
As you guys move through the battle deck and head downstairs,
this is our maintenance room.
And as you guys enter this area, crystals protrude from the chitinous ceilings of oddly shaped room. There are crystals, just some of them are lit, some of them are flickering or burnt out. And you see in the middle there is one, not a podium, but some sort of like thing that would hold a statue sitting in middle that seems to be wrapped in that same webbing that you found on the outside door. And he walks over to it and places the psi crystal inside, and it emanates a bright, bright light. And it starts to mold around it. The webbing starts to grab around the crystal, and it slowly sinks it down into the core, into the chasm that lies inside of that pillar. He says,
and now the ship is ready to be maintained, and this will start repairing itself and warming itself up and getting all this dreadful ice off of us.
And at this point, he asks,
would you like to see the engine room?
Yeah.
Up to you guys. Do you really?
Well, throughout all of this, Zizix has his notebook out and he's writing everything down because of all the technology and the mechanics of everything.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fascinated by this.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the sex dungeon to appear somewhere.
So he takes you to the propulsion room, and this room contains a 5-foot diameter sphere of shiny black metal with a small, transparent hexagonal window. Sharp metal tines resembling grasping claws protrude from the nearby walls and ceilings, stretching toward a sphere but stopping short of it. and along the walls are low-mounted control stations studded with knobs and dials. And he walks into here and he says,
This is where our engine gets all of its energy from. You see here where the sphere is flickering? In time, it will be glowing so beautifully purple, and it will give us the energy to go, and you can look out that window right there. Those are our propellers, essentially. Those tentacles on the back of our ship, they spin in such a way that they can actually move matter through it and jump us from place to place with less resistance. It's very, very simple, I assure you.
This is utterly fascinating to me. Lysander is looking around, marveling at all the technology, and he turns to the little guy whose name I can't pronounce. It says, "So, this thing is capable of traveling through the stars. I have a question. Is it capable of traveling through time?"
Time travel? Well, in a sense, traveling through the stars is like time travel, because it takes time to get there.
He's not wrong.
But no, we cannot go into the past, as the way that we understand time works is that if you have a time machine, you can only go back in time as far as the first time machine. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
How far back in time do you want to go?
Well, I don't recall a time machine ever being in existence 1,300 years ago, to my knowledge.
Yeah? Unless, people like me came many, many years ago. There could be a time machine of sorts. I don't know how you people ascended to intelligence here, but it could be possible.
Do you have a time machine?
Not 1,300 years old time machine.
Then I guess you've answered my question.
Maybe one back home, but I mean, it's probably like 600 years at the longest. But I'm sorry to hear that, friend.
Yeah.
Must be really hard.
Lysander bows just lowers his head on that. Yeah. Thanks, friend.
Alright, well, I guess we'll just continue on with the tour. It was very sad to hear that. That was very sad. This is the bridge.
And as you walk in through the bridge, suspended from the ceiling of this high-domed chamber is a complex lattice of bioluminescent jellyfish that use glowing tips of their tendrils to form constellations. High-backed chair with short armrests capped with sparkly blue crystal orbs tilts up towards the display. Panel on the starboard lies on the wall lies open, exposing a pulsing tendril of flesh embedded with crystal shards as it emanates the star map.
If you can recognize this, is what I showed you in a holographic form. This is our actual star map. And if you'd like to take a look here, there's the helm. This is where we control things. And you see the tendrils on the jellyfish. Well, if we connect a couple of those tendrils together, that activates different planes of existence, and we can jump through them. It's amazing and magic. But do not go near this blue button.
What does the blue button do?
It go boom. Big bada boom. There's a
Oh.
self-destruct button.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can't activate it with just touch, thankfully. But if you speak in the right language, you can activate the self-destruct sequence. So, theoretically, if you guys have beat me up real bad, but did not kill me, I will blow myself up and blow you up with me.
Yeah, that's a handy feature to have on a ship, I suppose.
Gotta go down with the ship as captain.
Yeah. Yeah, glad it didn't come to that.
Oh, me too, me too. I would not want to try to fight you, but I bet you have some pretty good brains on you. As he looks directly at Zizix briefly and says, anyway, moving on. This is where we had kept our pet Burley, but we cannot find him. We sent him to go digging for the crystal, but he had not come back.
What pet?
It's a Burley.
A what?
The thing I was telling you about when we got here. That burrowed. That we needed to.
If you see this Burley, just run, hide, because it's very fast. And quite frankly, even our flesh golem has problem trying to control it, obviously.
Zizus is gonna kind of raise his hand, just shyly.
Yes, no.
You keep saying we. Where are the rest of you?
Oh, it's a royal we. I speak on behalf of all of our Ceremorphs. Or Yager.
Are they also here as well?
No, it's just me.
You're alone on this ship, except for the squidlings and the flesh golem?
Oh, the squidlings and the flesh golem, they're very useful.
Right, but why are there no more of your kind with you?
Well, sad to say that this was a disease. You remember the disease that I talked about that had infected Kothas? Well, this was very dangerous as we did not know if it could infect us. And I got selected to investigate, which is fine, you know. I'm all about, the greater good and all that. That's what I did. I tried to help, and I got lost, and then I crashed. If I had more people, maybe I didn't crash.
I see.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's awful.
Yeah, it's okay. We're going home soon. We'll be blood.
Yeah.
But he goes back and starts to lead back down through the battle deck, and he says,
No, Matt. You can take one of these. I don't think I need 7 of them.
as he looks to you all and he says,
You, shiny man. Would you like a laser rifle?
Absolutely.
Okay, here, you can take one.
Oh my god. If I had a dick, I would be fully erect right now.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he just gave you one.
So,
wow. Oh, I'm just marveling at this thing, just in absolute awe.
and it's red and gold and has that pointed needle tip as well, and it feels quite heavy in the hands. And he says,
You have about 16 shots with that thing. But I don't know if you can reload it. So...
What kind of ammunition does it take?
Laser?
Lasers. How do I make lasers?
How much time you got?
I have all the time in the world, I think.
Okay, well, do you have your conducers and your metafragments?
No.
I look over at Zizix. You know what any of the stuff he's saying is?
Yeah, he'll nod his head and then say, "We don't have this."
Well, we might be able to make something out of it, but this is a wonderful gift, friend. And I thank you from the bottom of my metal heart.
Oh yeah, very metal, baby.
So metal.
I will not allow these shots to go to waste. I will make them count, rest assured. I tip my hat to him.
What you get nat ones on every single shot now.
Wait, what shot?
Don't you dare put that curse on me, Matt. Don't you dare do that to me.
Oh, it's there, man. It's already out there.
Oh, did he give you a gun too, not just Silas?
I got a laser rifle.
Oh, okay.
Not as many shots, but a bigger gun.
So, I know you've never seen or used any of these before, but I can tell that you have similar thing with trigger and crossbow, right? Right? Very primitive, very basic. Just go boom, okay? Let me just tell you, it go boom. I now shoot this one in here. The other one, yeah. The other one I'll shoot in here. But this one go boom, very big, very powerful. I don't shoot in here.
Will not.
Thank you.
am I still like intelligible because my voice is kind of wearing out from being him?
You sound wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. I picked up everything.
I'm enjoying the fuck out of this guy.
If I could give player inspiration, you'd have it.
Oh,
Same.
thank you. I know it's hijacking a little bit of human's voice, but that's how I expected these guys to sound. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
It's fun.
Let's see. What else does he have cool that he can show you?
Ah, actually this?
And he walks over to this small black rod. And he says,
This is very, very useful when you're traversing out in the wilderness. Any animals that are near you, they will not attack you if you push the button.
and he simulates a click at the very top of this rod that kind of doubles as a walking stick. And he says,
Now, there is a chance that this can break, but if you use it in the right situations, you'll be A-OK from anything that is not able to talk. If it can talk, it is too smart for this rod. This thing is very nice. Very nice, because you can't reason with animals. I can't speak to animals.
I can speak to animals.
What? You can?
Yeah. If I want to.
That's very neat. How do you do that?
Oh, lots of studying.
I want to speak chipmunk. That's what I want to talk to. I want to talk to a chipmunk.
Well, if I could give you that gift, I would, friend.
Well, that's okay. I'll figure it out later.
yeah, that's pretty much is everything that he thinks is cool on his ship. And he says, well, I think I got the whole kit and caboodle on that. Is, any of you guys want to come with me? Besides Carcass?
Not personally, but I am curious how attached you are to that rod.
Oh, I have many. You can have this one if you want.
That would be amazing.
And this rod, being a walking stick for him, is actually only about 6 to 8 inches long. So here is stats on that, because I don't think it is technically a wieldable thing, but I will give that to you. So you have that now.
Fantastic.
And he looks to everyone and he says,
well, what do you guys think?
This is incredible. I am speechless.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, this is a lot different than we were expecting.
Oh, were you expecting big, scary mind flayer gonna eat your brains, put tentacles in your ears, and suck out your brain while you're still alive, technically? And then put your brain in a jar? And then we keep the brain in the jar for a while, and then we decide to make the brain a intellect devourer?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
That's racist.
Well, in our defense, we did come across somebody that kind of seemed like they were getting attacked by a mind flayer.
Oh no. From that town that's nearby?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you exactly what that is. We used our scanners, and, well, that whole town, they're breeding with each other. They're slowly degrading themselves and unnatural. It's unnatural, and it's not good for them.
Yeah, we did learn that too.
It's very easy for them to be scared or go into a manic or just be, going crazy. It just so happens we happen to be here. There's no relation, there's correlation. Correlation is not causation.
Can I roll insight?
Sure.
That's an 18.
So it seems like he's being very truthful about that. But you knew that Lek did not. He stopped hearing voices as he approached the vehicle, right? So you would think, with that insight check, that maybe the long-term effects of having those voices being played periodically over and over would cause psychic damage, but he may not be aware of that because he's not listening to it all the time.
Gotcha.
So, anything else that you guys want to look at until we're ready to go?
Do you come to Earth often?
This is my first time here.
Well, hope you enjoyed your stay.
Oh no, I hated it. It's fucking cold.
It wasn't always. 13 years ago.
We might go to other parts of the world and get a better idea, but I don't know. I kind of just want to get home, and I know Carcass wants to get home too, right, bud?
Yes, I would like to go home.
Before you go home, do you have anything that could maybe kill a god?
A god?
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
And he starts going back into one of the rooms you guys follow him back into, and he starts typing up onto his terminal. And he says,
I don't think I have anything available at the moment, unfortunately. We had to kill the god of thunder, we killed the god of the ocean, we killed the god of larceny, the thieving. We killed too many gods already. Not here, other places, we just have no restock.
Could you enlighten me on how you did that?
Oh, sure. We use this ability to jump into dimensions, and we remove these lesser gods from their dimension, and they're basically dead, because, you know, they're in space, and, well, we just take care of them. We don't see them anymore. We take them away from their followers and their home planet, and they're gone. It's good.
I see.
But if you're talking about like gods, oh, can't kill gods, no. You have to kill them before they become gods, or else you need another god. And that just gets messy.
Is there anything that you can suggest that we might have the resources for to travel interdimensionally to fight these gods, per se?
No. You guys do not have this type of technology, from what I can tell. You may get with your local Mind Flayer union and ask them.
Local Mind Flayer union?
Yeah, they're unionized out here, or they're union busted.
Is that a fact? Well, are there any that you know of that you might direct us to?
I can't say that I do, I'm sorry.
I just thought I would ask.
Yeah, it's a good question for sure.
Gotta love this guy.
I'm having so much fun. All right.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but Carcass, if you want to get ready for the trip, it's probably a good time to say goodbye to your friends.
Oh, okay. Goodbye.
Andy's gonna give Carcass a hug.
And I will hug Andy back.
Carcass, I'm glad you get to go home, but we'll miss you.
Oh yes, Carcass is very glad that he gets to go home.
Be safe, okay?
Oh, I'm usually safe. Sometimes I'm not as safe, but that is okay.
Okay. Andy will pat him on the back and step aside so he can say goodbye to everyone else.
And Zizix will go up to him and just, tug on his cloak to, get him to kneel down or something.
Oh yes, I will reach down and pick Zizix up.
And then Zizix will say, now, what always, never forget what I taught you.
Oh, yes, you have taught me the best of things.
The best is always how to make the haste.
Oh, yes, and I will take off running with sticks in my arms.
All right. And you guys are up at the bridge and you start running down through the battle deck and through another set of doors. Does the party react?
Amy's chuckling.
Yeah. Vega smiles real big and kind of chuckles.
And I will scream right in Styx's face. We are making the haste!
You sure are. And I'm clinging on for dear life, yeah.
Sure.
And I will, as fast as I ran down, I will run back up and try and stop just mere inches away from everyone else.
Okay, go ahead and make a, let's call that a dexterity check.
That is a 12.
Yep, just close enough that you are practically trunk to nose with Vega.
That was so much of the fun.
And as he gets that close, I'm gonna kind of put my trunk on his shoulder and reach out with my hand for like a handshake.
Oh, I will shake Vegetable's hand.
It's been a pleasure, friend, and I'm happy for you, but I'm gonna miss you.
Oh, yes, I would probably miss me too if I was going away.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Alright, is everybody said their goodbye?
Eclipse is just gonna walk up to Carcass and pat him on the shoulder and say, "It was nice knowing you, bud."
Yes, I will pat you on the head. Say, oh, you are a very nice kitty cat, but you're a very big kitty cat.
Yes, how astute.
And I'm gonna walk up to Carcass too and say, I know there were times that we may have had our differences, but it was always good to have you in battle.
Oh, yes, I like the battle, Metal Man.
Now I'd like to hold my hand out the way Vega did too.
Oh, I will shake his hand.
Okay.
Have a safe trip, friend.
Yes, I hope we don't crash again. That was not very fun.
And then Zizix will go up to Pointy and take out the little stone that he had placed on his chest and go up to Carcass and give it to him.
Oh, yes, I will take that and put that into my bag.
Does Pointy become defunct?
No, so Pointy's power comes from a Shardling crystal.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It was just
I couldn't
it was
remember.
it was a decorative thing.
All right. And then it looks like more lights in the bridge are starting to flare up. They start emanating. Beeps are starting to beep, I guess, on the panels. And then you see the helm chair start to light up. And Ceramorphy
looks to you and he says, "Well, that's quicker than I thought."
Well, I guess that's our cue then. Thank you for everything and for showing us all of these amazing things.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to do it. You guys help me so much. It's the least I can do. Just don't leave until I'm with you because I think the squidlings have forgot who you are.
What about your bullet?
Oh yeah, we just can't leave him behind. If you find him, run.
Did you say run?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds fair.
Yeah, it's very, very strong. Very strong. It's hard to see, but if you feel the ground shaking, get out the fucking way.
Yeah. Good call.
Oh yeah, best call of your life.
What if we can't run?
Fly.
What if we can't fly?
Die.
If for some reason we have to fight this thing, what can you?
Kill it. Just kill it.
How?
I don't think he knows, guys.
Well, it's a mystery, alright? I gave you a gun, I gave him a gun. Just use
Yeah,
gun.
that's fair. That's fair.
That's the best you can do. Or die.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
I'm looking forward to trying this out, so...
Yeah, for sure. Just, listen. Don't shoot it at the mountains. Okay, so here's the difference I should tell you. An arrow, they fall. Over time, go far away, you fall ground. Laser? No, laser goes straight. If you do not hit what you want to hit, it'll keep going. It'll hit whatever the fuck behind it. So if you hit a mountain is full of snow, or it cause big avalanche, so be careful.
Thank you for the tip.
Yeah, just, I'm like a bow. And shoot straight. There's these guys in the other galaxies, stormtroopers, they can't shoot for shit. They miss everything, they cause so much damage, it's so bad. Well, anyway, it's nice meeting all of you. And I'm gonna get ready to take Carcass home. If you guys are ready, I will escort you out through the lobby.
Okay, that sounds good.
And with that, he starts to take you guys all the way down, and you guys see the squidlings that you had eviscerated reanimating, and kind of limping along. You see the flesh golem give you a.
Oh, now calm down. Calm down. They're leaving. They're leaving. Give me a goddamn minute.
And to the doors, you guys see that all the ice has melted off. The webbings on each door slide automatically as you approach. They don't need to be touched to be animated. It's all automated. And you guys find yourself back at that front staircase. 7 of you, with Carcass staying behind.
Hi, y'all, stay alive. Good luck with your guard. It's gonna be tough, but I hope the lasers help. But I don't know, you might not have enough shots.
Thank you.
Sandy will
We'll
wave.
do our best.
what's that?
And he replicates his waving with his tentacles on his beard.
This is how we say goodbye.
Oh, this is how I said goodbye.
Door shuts.
Oh my god, I love him so much.
Yep, that was very direct. I can respect that.
So, with you guys descending down the staircase back to the ground, that will be where we will end tonight.
Oh man, Pom Pom.
Whoa.
Good session, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I hope you guys all had fun. It is very sad to see Carcass make the decision to go, but Ryan is, he's gonna be sticking around once we get new character art made for him, and we'll have a new character to introduce sometime soon, hopefully. I'm very sad to see Carcass go.
I am too, but I am always looking forward to seeing what characters Brian comes up with, because they are always fun.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Brian,
Carcass.
you have
Gonna miss
anything you'd
Carcass.
like to say with your character departing?
Oh, I am very sad to see Carcass go, but I am also excited for my new character.
I feel the same.
If
Yeah.
that doesn't build up anticipation, I don't know what would. But for myself and the rest of the party, we hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as we did. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel. If you missed any of this session, follow us on Twitch, the link down below to YouTube. And if you want to know who's going to be making Brian's next character, you can check down below to the Instagram post. Megan Roden just opened up a new Etsy store, I believe, a sticker store. And she's making some awesome stuff, a little bit of D20 and Dungeons and Dragons stuff too. So give her a follow as well and check out her shop. It's very worthwhile. But
You can find her at Drawing by Megan on Instagram.
yeah, the link down below.
Oh, perfect.
So, for myself and the rest of the party, we hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Hit the follow button, all that good stuff. And we will see you again next week.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.